Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto ace a fairy tale council bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Mad Raptor Fanfiction and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Story start. Before canon, hello Naruto Uzumaki, winner of the last great shinobi war, child of prophecy, bringer of peace, and holder of the title God of Shinobi. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. A girl with long black hair that looked 10 years old said to the confused Naruto. He had just been celebrating his victory over Obito through the use of his sage mode with the rest of the undead Kage when all of a sudden he was here. He had just barely won the war against Obito using a good old Rasengan to the head, so he deserved the rest. Naruto looked around and saw nothing but white. Who are you, girl, and how did you bring me here? Naruto asked in confusion. He really did not care that he had been summoned here, since as a sage he could sense her power. This girl was stronger than Obito at his best, and while he wanted to fight her he knew that he would lose. I am glad you asked. I am, as you would say, the keeper between worlds. I am also the one that decided who will be the savior of what worlds. I have no given name, but I like the name Kurohime or Black Princess in other languages. Kurohime said as Naruto raised an eyebrow. Why am I here? Naruto tried again as the girl giggled. Because as one of the last two Jinchuriki I have decided that you and Killer Bee will be moved to another world that has need of your powers. I have already sent him on ahead, and he has told me that tell Naino to chillo. It's all good bro, his words. Kurohime deadpanned. Naruto chuckled at how even what he would guess was a god hated his bad rapping. I will offer you the same thing I did him. A start in a world that will not have any knowledge of the tailed beasts, and has rarely ever seen war. If you go back to your world you will be fought over by all the nations as the last Jinchuriki and chaos will reign. You will be able to make new friends in this world, and will achieve new levels of happiness. Kurohime offered as Naruto smiled. He did not want to be the cause of another war, and if him going to this new world kept his friends safe he would do it. Sign me up. Bring this new world on, and show it that Naruto Uzumaki is the greatest ninja ever. Naruto said with a cheesy grin. He then caught a pair of keys that was tossed at him by the girl. Those are a gift to you for accepting my offer. They are known as the Golden Zodiac Keys. The previous contract holders for them abused the contract, and since you will no longer be able to summon toads, this is my trade to you. You will be keeping almost all your powers when you go to this new world, but I will be giving you one more thing before I let you go. This is a world of magic, and I would find it fitting if you had at least one type of magic. I warn you though, like Killer Bee, you will only be given the chance to learn a single branch of magic. One type, one magic and no more than that, she said seriously as she tossed him a list of different kinds of magics. He noticed that the whole list was based on wind element. He will use chakra, not magic to summon the spirits, so it does not count. Sky Dragon Slayer's magic, Wind Dragon Slayer's magic, Sky God Slayer magic, Wind God Slayer's magic, Wind Make magic, Aerospace magic, Cyclone magic, Wind Demon's magic, Wind Demon Slaying magic, Wind Armor magic, Wind King's magic, Sky magic, Hurricane magic, and Sky Blast magic. Before I pick, you said almost all my powers. What am I not keeping? Naruto asked as he stared the girl down. Your tailed beast Kurama will be a separate entity from you again, and will be your traveling companion. Much like one of the smaller summoned toads could have been. He will be allowed to have only a minuscule amount of his power though, since this world will not do well with tailed beasts. He has already agreed that most, if not all, of his power will be used to enhance the magic you choose before you came here. The reason I am giving you one type of magic is so that you make up for losing his bonus. Kurohime said regretfully. The truth was that tailed beast chakra would poison him if he went to the new world. The three conflicting energies in his body would rip his organs to shreds in him for days, and his stomach acid would enter his bloodstream causing much pain before dying. What did B pick? Naruto asked curiously. He picked lightning dragon slaying magic from his list. He said, and I quote, float like a dragon, and sting like a killer bee. Who be the slayer be me. Then he yelled we before I gave him the magic and kicked him to the new world. She said as Naruto laughed and looked at the magics with dragon in it. What is the difference between Sky and Wind Dragon Slayer's magic? He asked, seeing as he knew that behind his dumb persona B normally made great choices. If he thought this dragon slaying magic was the best choice, then Naruto would pick one of the two. Sky Dragon Slayer magic can be used for attacking, healing, enhancement, and it gives you total immunity to wind and sky-based attacks. Wind Dragon Slayer's magic can only be used for the first and the last. Kurohime said as Naruto knew that the first sounded much better than the second. The ability to heal and enhance your body was a great ability to use when you are trained from a young age to use teamwork like Naruto was. He had never been much of a healer, so this was like a chance to be a little more like Granny Tsunade. Then I pick Sky Dragon Slayer's magic. Naruto said as he felt Kurama disappear from his body, and his chakra in his change to become this new power. Surprisingly enough, he was able to feel his body change as well. When he looked very closely he could see that he now had minuscule scales on his body. They were unseen by the normal human eye though, and all Naruto's senses increased. He felt the seal on his stomach disappear altogether, as his new power became a part of his body. He then felt something plop down on his head. "Yo Naruto," Kurama said from on top of his head as he waved a humanoid hand to the new dragon slayer. His rabbit-like ears twitching every so often. It was only now that Naruto noticed how little Kurama looked like a fox besides the legs, head shape, and tails. He had a humanoid torso, humanoid arms and hands, and his ears were so long and rabbit-like. His only other fox trait was that he was covered in orange-red fur. "Hey Kurama, nice to see you're out," Naruto said as the knowledge of how to use this magic flowed to his mind. "Nice to be out. Ever since your ass of a father gave me back my other half, the desire to be out has been eating at me for hours now," Kurama said as he sat on Naruto's head. He really did not mind the chain in size. At least he had legs, unlike Yuki who didn't. He still had the strength of an S rank in this body, so he did not care. "Good for you then," Naruto said as he gave a fanged grin to the fox. His already larger than average fangs had also increased in size from the change. "Looking good," Kurama complimented, seeing the feral change in Naruto. Now he looked a little less human, and that was a-okay with him. It separated his ex-container from the rest of the trash that was humans. A cough got both of their attentions as she-girl looked at them with a smile. "Now, seeing as you can't tell anyone about me, I am going to have to ask you two to keep me secret. Bye-bye," she said quickly as the both of them vanished. With the two of them. That bitch teleported us into the sky," Kurama yelled in anger. He had just lost his immortality, due to the 10 tails being dead, and now this bitch was trying to kill him. If he ever saw her again, he was going to attempt to kill her, and then if he managed to do it, he would dance on her dead body. "Shut up, Kurama!" Naruto yelled as the knowledge on a flying technique came to his mind. He was now really thankful that he had picked this magic. An almost invisible bubble of air surrounded them as they started floating to the ground slower than before. About 3 hours later they touched the ground, and both were cursing Kurohime for doing that. "Who dares disturb the sleep of the great and powerful lectress?" A huge voice came from next to them as Naruto facepalmed. Of course he would run into a dragon right after he was teleported to a new world. It was just his luck, and Kurama was now looking at the dragon while sizing it up. Kurama always was the better sensor of the two. "How good do you think you can do those fancy new moves of yours, Naruto?" Kurama whispered with a sigh. Naruto could defeat this dragon as he was right now with his base skills, but he had a feeling that it would be best to use the new moves. "I know what to do, and how to do them. Though I can't say that I know where a dragon is weak at," Naruto admitted with an embarrassed blush and awkward laugh. He then turned serious as he jumped away from the jaws of the dragon that tried to take a bite of him. "Fuck you two, you need a breath mint," Naruto yelled as he went left to avoid a beam of lightning coming his way. "Roar of the sky dragon," Naruto yelled as he sucked in his breath, and used the same compression concept of the Rasengan to compress the wind and magic inside his chest, and then release it in a tornado of wind as his cheeks puffed out. The tornado collided with the stunned dragon and left a gash in its side. "Brat!" the dragon yelled as it hissed in pain. It did not think its opponent would know the dragon's slaying arts, nor that he would be able to use such a powerful blast. The 20-meter-wide crater that the attack made before it hit him was proof of that. It looked around and saw that the fox from earlier was sitting on its snout, and before he could do anything about the fox, it grinned and jumped off its nose. "Giant Rasengan!" Naruto yelled as he used the distraction caused by his partner to hit the gash of the dragon's side. "Gaha! Human!" the dragon yelled before he saw another Naruto holding a giant white screeching bell-shaped ball over his head. That and his eyes were green with toad-shaped pupils. Naruto had made a clone earlier and had it try and collect sage energy, and found that it only took 7 seconds to get the energy in this world. That and his eyes weren't yellow when he did use sage mode. "Raisin Shuriken!" Naruto yelled as he chucked the attack and cut the dragon's head straight off its shoulders. Blood from the dragon covered Naruto as he gagged at the taste of it, since some had gotten in his mouth. Somewhere in the in-between world, Kurohime smirked and muttered how everything went according to plan. Whatever magic he had picked, he would have had to fight and kill something to make room for his existence in the new world. He was not a natural part of the world, so someone would have to disappear for him to stay there. And picking Dragon Slayer magic was the perfect chance to do both at the same time. Killer Bee had to do the same thing. "Ha ha ha, the overgrown lizard got its ass kicked," Kurama said while laughing. It was good that he had been able to distract the dragon long enough for Naruto to use his instant kill move. Kurama knew from experience how much those hurt, and if it hurt his in his huge form, it would easily kill a non-wind related dragon. "Hell yeah, we kicked its ass," Naruto said as back Kurama hopped on his shoulder and took his seat. Naruto did not mind since the fox did not weigh all that much. "I don't think I am going to use my magic all that much though. As long as I have clones and my Rasengan, I should be good," Naruto stated as Kurama nodded. He thought that Naruto should train and practice his new moves for a while before using them in battle. Until then he could make do with only his basic ninja skills. He was above S-class back in his world with only his basic skills and sage mode after all. "Hey, what are we going to do now?" Kurama asked as he leaned against Naruto's head. "We need to find a town or something, and then learn a bit about this world. Can you sense anything around here?" Naruto asked his partner as he sniffed the air, and then tried sensing the area. 7 miles from here there are 2 human scents and a cat smell, and 3 magic signatures. Around them are a lot of fake people, illusions made to look real if I was guessing. Kurama said as he flicked a tail west. I don't see why you don't just summon with those keys that girl gave you. Kurama said as Naruto took the keys from his pocket and picked one to use. Holding out the one that had a ram on it, he put some chakra in it to see if that worked, and in a glow of light a pink curly-haired girl wearing wool skimpy clothes and other wool accessories. She looked about 18 or 19 years old. Huh. Sorry, but are you my new summoner? That girl told me that I was getting a new summoner today. The girl said with a bow as Naruto noticed her twisted horns, much like a ram. Yeah? I don't really know how this works, and am new around, so could you explain stuff to me? Naruto asked as the shy girl looked at him strangely, like she was not used to someone asking something nicely of her. Before I answer, can you tell me how old you are? Sorry. The girl said as she apologized again. It must be a quirk she had, so Naruto waved it off. I'm 16 right now. Naruto said as the girl smiled. I am known as Ares the Ram, she started before Kurama interrupted her with a statement. Aren't rams male? Kurama asked as Ares nodded, but gave the strange talking animal a strange look. As my new summoner, it is my duty to follow your orders, but know that we can only be summoned on certain days. I can be summoned on any day of the week though, but not on the 3rd Friday of any month. Ares said as Naruto nodded. It sounded reasonable to him. What can you do? Naruto asked curiously as Ares blushed at the younger man. I can do wool magic. I'm sorry. Ares said a bow. Naruto pat her on the shoulder and gave her a smile. He did not mind if she was not very useful in battle, and frankly he did not want her to get hurt either. It's fine, but what can you tell me about this land? Naruto asked as Ares got what he was asking. He was literally from a different world after all, like that girl said, so he was looking for info on the world he would be living in. This is Earthland. A world where mages and magic reign supreme. Mages sometimes group together in places called guilds, and guilds will do missions for nearly anyone that makes a request. Sorry, she said again as Naruto felt the desire to join a guild. Do you know if there are any guilds nearby? Naruto asked as he tilted his head to the side that Kurama wasn't on. Cute. Ares thought before mentally scolding herself. She had to admit she was happy with her new master. When that strange girl had first told her that she could be given a new nice master, she was skeptical, but if it let her escape that cruel woman, then she would jump at the chance. She had heard that Virgo was given the same deal as her. She was told though that she was picked because of her material instincts, and her pink hair, as strange as it was. Yes, I think we are at Hikari Mountain, so Cait's shelter should be a few miles away from here. I think it is, that is. Sorry. She said again as Naruto gave her another smile. It's okay. Thanks for the help. Naruto thanked her as she went wide-eyed at the new experience. She had never been thanked before for anything. This was a truly new thing for her. I already think that this boy will be my favorite summoner ever. He has a really pure heart, and I can feel that he has enough love to spare. Ares thought with a smile. She could even feel that the boy in front of her was extremely powerful. Much stronger than the average S-class mage. Even the fox was about par with the strongest mage in her old master's guild. Then she looked around and saw the dead dragon. What she did not know was that in his old world Naruto had faced being far more powerful than a dragon, and came out victorious. His usual foes were more powerful, and had more skill. Nagato could literally crush whole villages with a single attack. Kurama used to have the power to destroy whole mountains easily, and he had beaten them both. I wonder how much the corpse would go for. Kurama asked as Naruto nodded. Dragon must go for a lot, and they were going to need money somehow. There was no way to know how expensive things were, but selling a dragon corpse had to be worth something. It was better than nothing after all. No clue, but it must weigh a few tons. I am going to need sage mode to carry this thing for sure, Naruto said as he compared it to the size of the stone toads in the old summon world. They were a little bigger and made of rock, so they should be heavier than the dragon he had caught off guard. Ares was simply lost at what they were talking about, but when Naruto's eyes became green and toad-like, while he got red-orange marks around them and he went and lifted the dragon over his head, she was shocked. Hey Ares, do me a favor and carry the head for me? Naruto asked nicely, and Kurama laughed at her pale face. I think you should summon your other key, she would be much more help than me here. She is very strong. Ares said as she turned a little green. Seeing dead things was not on her list of things she liked. Kurama, toss me the key. Naruto said as Kurama graped it from his pocket and tossed it to Naruto's mouth. Naruto did the same thing as he did with Ares' key, but this time a short pink-haired girl wearing a maid outfit and chain shackles on her wrists. Her green eyes sparkled with no visible emotion that her smile told. So you are Naruto that girl spoke of. Do you mind if I call you master? Virgo asked as she looked at the boy with the huge dragon over his head. Naruto looked at her in disbelief but figured it was another quirk. The toads had loads of quirks that made no sense to him. Sure. Call me what you want, Naruto said as his now green eyes looked at her. He looked shocked though when he realized that both girls he could summon had good-sized racks on them. I would like to start by telling you, master, that I cannot be summoned on Sunday, but I am free Monday through Saturday for your personal use. she said with a bow of servitude. She was a little surprised that her newest summoner was not a celestial wizard. She could feel that he was not, but somewhat her energy in his body was allowing him to summon them. Great. Ares tells me that you are strong. Can you pick up that head over there and help me get this to the nearest town? Naruto ordered in an asking way. If she liked the master thing, then she might prefer that he order her around. She smiled at the order, and went over to heft the head over her shoulder. Naruto looked to his side and saw Ares holding a docile Kurama in her arms. Naruto sighed as he started to walk down the mountain path and smiled. He already had 2 friends in this new world. Sure, they had their weird quirks, but it was a sign that he did the right thing in leaving his world. He was kinda sad to do it, but it was for their safety. It might have been better that he did not say goodbye, otherwise he would have changed his mind. I just hope that you are okay, B. Naruto thought with a grin. He was sure Thabi had to face a dragon as well. He would be okay though, they faced the Jubi together after all. Things were looking up for Naruto. Chapter end. Story start. Master, people are staring. Virgo deadpanned as Naruto stared at her. He was not sure if she was being sarcastic or not. They had made small talk as they walked down the mountain, and Naruto learned one thing he would have rather not known about the maiden spirit. She was a glutton for punishment. She literally loved to be punished in weird or sexy ways, and now Naruto was going to have to make a list of punishments to reward her with to make her happier. It may be weird, but she liked it, and who was he to judge when he was a ramen-holic? I can tell that people are staring. You would think that they have never seen a group of people walking through a town before, Naruto said as Kurama scoffed from his place in Ares' arms. He was really enjoying the fluffy wool clothes she wore, since they were really nice to rest on. Sorry, Naruto-san, but I think it is the dragon they are staring at. Sorry. The shy ram girl said as she blushed at Naruto's friendly smile. Having never experienced kindness from any of her previous owners, she was not yet used to how well Naruto was already treating her. I know that, I was just being sarcastic. It must not be very often people see a dead dragon, or any dragon at all for that matter, Naruto said as he watched people look at him in awe. Since he was carrying the main body, they must have assumed that he killed the dragon. Naruto could hear the whispers spreading among the people that Naruto noticed all had the same symbol with the exception of 1 or 2 travelers wandering through. It was of a twin-tailed cat. Kurama hopped out of Ares' arms and made his way to Naruto's shoulder. He had an urgent look on his face that told Naruto he was going to have to listen. Naruto. These people are fakes. Great fakes, but they have no souls inside them. All of them except the travelers have the exact same resonance, so they must have been made by the same person. Kurama said as Naruto scowled lightly. Unlike a signature, most people sense. Kurama sensed a person's signature and resonance. A resonance was like a DNA signature and could hardly ever be faked. It was a person's link to nature they were born with. How great are we talking here? Zetsu level great, or Henge level great? Naruto asked in a way only the 2 of them would really know the answer to. Zetsu level. Kurama stated as Naruto held in a groan of anger. This was more complicated than it needed to be. Ares seemed to not like the attention and looked at Naruto. Do you mind if I go back now? I don't like how these people feel. Ares asked as Naruto gained some more respect for her. She might not have known the people were fake, but she felt something wrong with them. That was a start. Yes, sure, you can go whenever you want, Naruto said as she nodded with a smile and vanished in some light. He felt that with her disappearance she stopped drawing on his chakra to keep herself here. He could still feel his chakra being used by Virgo though as she carried the dead dragon head near him. Hey Naruto. Kurama stated as he sat on his friend's shoulder. Yes, friend was the word he was going to use when he talked about Naruto. Yeah? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Most of the time Kurama was silent, and would only talk when he had something to say. There is a panicked girl coming this way, and she has the exact same magical signature as you. I can smell her from here, and she smells like you do as a dragon slayer, though she does not have the dragon blood smell to her, so she must not have killed one yet. Kurama pointed out as Naruto shrugged. He did not care if someone else used the same magic as him. As long as she did not try and attack him, then they might get along just fine. Naruto was just interested in selling his dead dragon, and getting into a guild where he could make friends. He had already plucked some of the dragon's teeth, and its right side horns so that he could make his own weapon later. He had a feeling weapons made from dragon would be more powerful than normal ones. He had no clue what he was going to make though, and then again he had never even really needed to use a weapon before. He was knocked out of his thought when a girl about 3 or 4 years younger than him pushed through the crowd and tripped on her own face. She got back up and pouted at herself before getting a look at him, and he could see the conflicting emotions on her face. Relief, sadness, happiness, and confusion were all clearly there. You okay there, little girl? Naruto asked loudly as she jumped, since she had not been expecting him to talk to her. Naruto tasted the air around him, an ability he practiced on the way there, and found out that she was the one that tasted similar to him. Yes sir, I had just heard that man was seen with a dead dragon. I thought something else, and was hoping you would help me find someone. Have you ever heard of a dragon named Grandini the Sky Dragon? Wendy asked as Naruto felt bad that he was about to crush her hopes. Sorry kid, this is the first dragon I have ever seen. You can plainly see how that worked out. Do you know of a place I can sell this guy to? Naruto asked nicely as Wendy held in some tears at not getting any closer to finding her dragon parent. I don't know, but Master might, she said quietly as she walked off and they followed her. With how short she was and how fast Naruto was, he was able to catch up to her quickly. If you don't mind me asking, who is Grandini? Naruto asked as Wendy looked at his smile and felt at ease. My mother, she found me as a baby and taught me everything I know about magic. It must have been similar for you as a kid, right? Wendy asked, seeing as Grandini told her how dragon were only ever beaten by dragon slayers, or freakishly strong people. Sounds like Grandini was a dragon, so would your magic happen to be dragon slayer magic? Naruto asked as the young girl nodded her head. Cool, I am a bit of a dragon slayer myself. You could saw it as one of my many talents, Naruto said as he put on a relaxed face. What kind of dragon slayer are you? The small girl asked in curiosity. She had never met a dragon slayer with a different element than hers before, so this was a new thing for her. I use sky dragon slaying magic myself. The only difference is that you could say that I was not taught mine by a dragon. You could say that mine is a natural part of my body. That does not have to be taught. As far as I know, there is one other guy that is like me, and I have no clue where the idiot ran off to, Naruto said as he stunned the girl with the knowledge he was the exact same type of dragon slayer as her. This guy was actually my first fight using my magic, and he was really easy to beat, though it could be because as a wind element slayer, and since he is a lightning dragon, I have the elemental advantage that it was so easy. I got him with 3 moves, Naruto said as Wendy looked at him in amazement. She was like Naruto and the other dragon slayers. She may be small, but she was just as in tune with her dragon instincts as the others, so she respected those that were strong greatly. Slaying a dragon was like the ultimate achievement you could do as a dragon slayer, as long as the dragon you slayed was not your dragon parent, that is. Naruto chuckled at her odd expression and guessed it was the instincts that she got from being a dragon slayer. He felt the same instincts. Since he was older and more in tune with his body as a sage, he was able to tell he had gained new instincts right away when he got here. His sage training helped him push them down though. On the way down the manation he had went through his own head and gotten all the information that girl had given him on dragon slayers and the changes they went through, their attacks and spells, sky dragon slaying magic, and everything about what he would need. He was going to have to test this attacks out, since most of them seemed completely badass to him. So what is your name? I am Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto asked with his signature grin that caused shy girls to blush, and it worked on Wendy as well, seeing as she blushed and looked away. When she looked back she had a smile on her face. I'm Wendy Marvel. Nice to meet you, Naruto-san, Wendy stated in return, before she noticed Naruto glare at her. She nearly jumped back in surprise before he smiled gently. No san on my name. I can't be more than a few years older than you. We are pretty close to the same age, so no need to show me any respect. Just call me Naruto or even Naruto-kun for all I care, just no Naruto-san, Naruto said with a wink. Kurama rolled his eyes and relaxed further on Naruto's shoulder, his tails waving lazily as he enjoyed his ride. He examined his own new body and found that he could use basic fire magic and something that let him grow a pair of wings. Oh okay, Naruto. Wendy stuttered as a white cat with wings and clothes on came flying their way. You are getting me some clothes later, Kurama deadpanned jealously. He did not really need to wear them, but since a cat had clothes and he didn't, it just felt wrong. Got it, buddy, Naruto said back. Wendy, what have I told you about going off on your own without me? The white said in an elegant voice, which caused Wendy to become flustered again. But I had heard that there was a dead dragon in town, and I had to see it. Naruto could have been a clue to finding Grandini, and I couldn't pass it up. When tried to reason with the annoyed cat, Naruto thought it was funny that she was having the conversation in the first place. That is no excuse, young lady. Who knows what this beast could have done to you? Your chastity could have been lost, the cat said as both Naruto and Kurama took offense to that. Virgo just watched with amusement, but Naruto seemed to see it and shot her a glare. Cat, I will have you know that my partner has ironclad morals. I should know I have tried to tempt him to kill everything around him for years now. Your partner's chastity will be fine as long as she does not make the first move. Something I don't think she will do, Kurama said as Naruto looked sheepish at the description. Yeah, what the hell have I done for you to call me a beast anyway? You haven't even got to know me yet. You need to curb your attitude before you piss off the wrong person, cat. I might not hurt you for this, but who knows who will kill you? Naruto said as the white cat seemed taken away by the fact that had judged him before knowing him. Also she grew nervous when he pointed out that some people would have hurt her for her usual insults. She was small and weak. If someone wanted to hurt her it would be pretty easy. I see, but is there any proof that you aren't a beast that would take advantage of Wendy? The cat asked as Naruto shrugged. What she was asking was nearly impossible to give. How can a person prove they would do something? Sure, he knew he would not do it, but that wouldn't reassure the cat. Where is your proof that I would take advantage of her? Naruto asked back as the cat seemed to take a thinking pose. She was really trying to find a problem with him. You're covered in blood, and you aren't wearing a shirt, the cat pointed out as Naruto's sweat dropped. I just killed a dragon, so this is its blood. I don't own a shirt anymore, so there is that, and I like how the wind feels on my skin. That and hurting Wendy would be stupid of me if I want to join the same guild as her. Cait Shelter is the closest guild, and she has a Cait Shelter mark on her arm, Naruto said as Wendy beamed. All the other people in her guild were adults that coddled her like a child. Naruto looked to be only a little older than she was, so maybe they could form a team in the future. It was not like they could hurt each other with their sky dragon slaying magic. They were literally immune to the other's magical attacks, while enhancement spells and healing magic would be able to help each other. I hope you join. Carla, be nice to him please? Wendy asked the now named Carla. Kurama huffed at being forgotten but shrugged it off. He really did not care if people noticed him, and he might be out of their vision at the moment anyway. Carla seemed to notice something attached to Naruto pants a few seconds later. You have golden keys? Carla asked as Naruto shrugged. Yeah, I guess, but I'm not really a celestial wizard. I just have another energy in my body that lets me summon them when I want to. Virgo over there carrying the head is one of my spirits. On the way here she told me that there are 12 golden keys, but I have no desire to go find the others. You could say these keys were given to me by a friend, Naruto said with a strained look. Wendy looked up at him in awe again, and Naruto noted that it was pretty easy to impress her. Then what magic do you use? Carla asked while trying to dig for anything suspicious. He uses the same magic as me, Wendy said before she got flustered at Naruto's amused look for answering for him. It was a silent walk for a few more minutes before they got outside the guild hall, where a very old man was waiting for Wendy. Naruto, this guy is TH1 casting the illusion. Be wary of him, but don't make your distrust obvious, Kurama whispered as Naruto nodded. The old man was too busy staring at the dead dragon to pay the fox any attention anyway. Ah, Wendy and Carla. I see you found an interesting young man indeed, and the rumor that is spreading is true. In the first time in 7 years a dragon has been seen, and it has been slain. Excuse me, young man, but would you happen to be a dragon slayer? The withered old man said as Naruto blinked. The guy had a pleasant air around him, much like the third Hokage did when he was still alive. Yeah, I am, Naruto said as he and Kurama looked at the guy with a suspicious look for half a second. This guy was weaker than Kurama was right now, and all his energy seemed to be going to keeping his illusion up. Master Rabal. Can Naruto please join Cait Shelter? Wendy asked with a bow, and Naruto smiled at her honesty. She was a tad bit blunt, but not in a rude way, like she wanted to say something, but was not sure how to sugarcoat it. The old man seemed surprised at the fact Naruto was willing to join a small guild like Cait Shelter, but he knew that with him here Wendy would not be as sad when he died soon. He maybe had another 7 months in him at most. I don't see a problem with it. As long as he can follow the rules of the guild he will be welcome to join. He would need to be ranked though, Rabal said as he studied Naruto up for a moment. The fact he had a dragon over his head meant that he had amazing physical strength. He killed the dragon without any apparent injuries, and he could feel huge levels of magic in him as well as another huge unknown energy he had never felt before. Did you ever hold a rank before you came here? Rabal asked with a certain look. He was already going to make Naruto an S-class in his guild, but having a better understanding of his last rank would help him make it official. Well, in my old country the last time I checked I was ranked S rank, but recently I would say that I would be SS rank. We had just gotten out of a nasty war on my country, and I was one of the key fighters, Naruto said as he used parts of the truth to cover for his lie. He was ranked S in another country, but that country was on a different world. This boy has seen war. How sad that such youth must be put through things he should never have seen. Rabal thought sadly. The truth in Naruto's eyes told him that he was not lying about the war, but he could tell Naruto left something out. You were in war? Wendy asked in shock. She could not even fathom trying to fight to kill people. Well, it was a war against 2 people, a monster, and an army of the undead. I only ended up killing 1 person and the monster. Our own army sealed away the undead army, but it was hard. We almost lost and had everything razed to the ground, Naruto admitted as Rabal looked more surprised. He only knew of 1 person that could possibly defeat a whole country, and that was the ace of fairy tale guildarts. Every guild had their own ace except the smaller guilds that did not have S-class mages. You killed a man that could raise the dead and destroy nations. You can't be older than 17, Carla said as Naruto blushed. Well, one of the undead turned on the guy that raised the dead, and I only beat the guy with power to crush villages. Also, I am 16 years old, Naruto said as Rabal decided he had heard enough. Would you like to join my guild, Naruto-kun? Rabal asked as Naruto has an image of the 3rd Hokage asking him if he wanted to become a ninja. Naruto blinked away the tears he felt forming and nodded his head with a faint smile. I would be honored to join Cait Shelter, but can I put this down? My arms are getting tired from holding it for the last few hours. Is there anywhere I can sell this thing anyway? Naruto asked as Rabal thought about it, before sighing. Sorry, young one, but nobody but the richest people would have enough money to buy a dragon corpse. Have you thought about using it to make yourself equipment? The master of the guild asked as Naruto tossed the dragon away, and Virgo tossed the head as well before she disappeared in bits of light. His ki glowed for a moment, and Naruto felt her stop draining him of his chakra. He was glad he could use chakra to summon them, or the keys would have been useless to him since he could only use Sky Dragon's slaying magic. Wendy had the image of fancy dragon skin clothes going through her head, before she grew flustered and started shaking her head to get the less pure images out of her head. Rabal reached into his back pocket and pulled out a stamp. What color would you like your guild stamp, and where? Rabal asked as Naruto grinned. On my belly button, and in orange. Naruto said happily as Kurama face-palmed. He blamed Kushina and Minato for having red and yellow as their colors. Now Naruto was more stuck on orange than ever. The belly button was symbolic for Naruto because where his old seal for Kurama was before he was released from his body. Don't forget about me. I want mine on my left side in black. Kurama demanded as people took notice of him for the first time. The sight of another talking animal were not really surprising to them, since there were reports of every dragon slayer but the one in Phantom Lord having a talking companion. At guild master meetings, Rabal had heard plenty of stories about the young dragon slayers having talking cats. Now that he thought about it, Naruto was the second youngest dragon slayer that any of the guilds had at the moment. His own Cait shelter had both the youngest and most powerful dragon slayers in his guild, both of whom had the exact same type of dragon slaying magic. It was like somebody was playing a game with their lives. What is your name, young fox? Rabal asked kindly, before Kurama sent a ball of fire at him the size of a softball. Don't mock me, old man. I am a being of ultimate destruction, Gak. Kurama yelled before he fell of Naruto's shoulder. He lost his balance while he was about to go into his usual rant about being the most powerful tailed beast alive. He's Kurama, and my partner. Ignore him when he gets into his rants about destruction. He is an inside guy when you get to know him, Naruto said as Kurama hopped back on his shoulder, and they both got their guild marks. Welcome to Cait shelter, Naruto and Kurama, Rabal said with a wide smile. Wendy smiled and gave Naruto a hug at being a part of her guild, before she grew flustered again and let go. The Rabal's smile faded and he gave Naruto a piece of paper. I have decided that you have the strength of an S-class, but you need to fill that form out if you want to be an official S-class. Otherwise you can't take any of the higher missions. Not that we get very many of those. Mostly just D through C ranked missions. I think we may get 1A and S rank mission every so often. Rabal said as Naruto looked over the paper and paled. He could not read what it said. I need some help. While my country has the same language, we seem to have a different writing style. I can't read anything on this paper, Naruto said as Kurama laughed at him, and Carla scoffed. Wendy gave him a sad look. I can help you fill it out, Wendy stated shyly before being scooped up in a hug from Naruto. Thanks a lot, Wendy, Naruto exclaimed with anime tears of joy rolling down his face. Naruto put her down and handed her the paper and pen. Okay, what is your birthday? Wendy asked as Naruto thought about it. He had never really celebrated it before, so he never bothered to remember. October 10th, 16 years ago, Naruto said with a scratch of his head. After she asked him a few more questions, they had almost finished the papers. Finally, what magics do you use? Wendy asked, and this time she looked very interested. She was wondering if he knew anything other than the magic she knew as well. Naruto thought about it for a second before he decided he would trust her and Rabal with his skills. That, and he did not know if hiding his skills was punishable by law. He would just say that his jutsu were a lost magic. I use lost magic chakra, lost magic sage mode, lost magic ninjutsu, and finally sky dragon slaying magic. I also have 2 celestial keys, but I use them through lost magic chakra instead of using celestial summoner magic, so it does not count as different, Naruto said with a smile. Wendy nearly broke the pen at all the lost arts Naruto knew, while Rabal had his jaw looser from hearing so many art he had never heard of. Wow, you sure know quite a few different magics, Rabal said as Wendy looked at him with an amazed look. I was wondering if you would be so kind as to take and protect Wendy on your missions you will be taking. She needs to gain more experience, but in a safe environment where she is not in real danger, Rabal asked while Wendy lent him an instinctual puppy dog look, and he felt whatever resistance he wasn't going to put up crumble. Yeah, but I get to name out team, Naruto stated as the younger girl did a silent cheer. She almost never got to do any missions. She did not even care if he named the team. Then from today on we are going to be known as Team Roaring Winds, Naruto shouted in excitement. He was more of a team player anyway, and Wendy was the only other living human in the guild besides maybe Rabal. He would have asked her to come on missions with him anyway. This just saved him time. I guess the name is not that bad, Carla admitted, seeing as she could not find anything wrong with it. The main attack of the Dragon Slayer was their roars, and they were both Sky Dragon Slayers, so the wind part was clever. Kurama just scoffed at the name, since he would have picked something like Team Foxy Bastards. I like it, Wendy stated as she tried saying it a few times, and found out that it rolled of the tongue nicely. It's a good name, Rabal said with a small old man smile. The type you would see on a grandfather. With a final smile, Naruto grinned and looked over Wendy and Carla. He could see their team working out well. Then tomorrow Team Roaring Winds will be going on their first mission, because I am broke as hell, Naruto yelled excitedly as everyone's sweat dropped. Their new member was a bit weird, but he seemed like a good person. Well, at least I can brag to Mavrov about having a dragon slayer that actually killed a dragon, Rabal thought as he smiled. Now he had his very own ace, and he was going to brag before he died. He just hoped that his ace was not as destructive as Gildart's from Fairy Tail. Chapter end. Story start. Okay, why do all of these missions suck so bad? Naruto complained as Wendy read him the requests. He had tried to learn how to read in this language, but something was making it much harder for him. Even back in his world he had always had a hard time reading and writing. Iruka had said something about him being dyslexic, and that he would never be the best reader. Sometimes the words would be flipped for him, and it made it much harder to learn a new language. It was one of the reasons that he had become dead last in the academy. It was not that he was stupid per se, but more like he had trouble putting the words on paper. When the old man was alive he had told him his mother had the same problem, even though he never told him her name at that time. Oh come on, that C-ranked one did not sound so bad. What was it again? Oh yes, helping a farmer plant new crops sounds like an easy money maker for you, Kurama said as the new team Roaring Winds looked at the request board, and since Wendy and Carlo were the only ones that could read at the moment, they were the ones actually looking at the requests. Kurama just plain refused to learn to read, since he hated reading just as much as Naruto normally did. How about this one? Help needed for finding my dog Zora, reward 20,000 jewels, $200, last seen 10 miles of West Forest. This is only 4 hours away by train, and we can walk to the next city with a train that is about 30 minutes from here, Wendy suggested as Naruto thought it over, and decided that they could do it. Are there any more that catch your eye, Wendy, or how about you, Carla? Naruto asked with a glance. He was going to try and break her out of her shell, and that meant he was going to make her pick things she wanted to do. He would ask her opinion as much as possible as well to raise her confidence. Wendy blushed and looked at the board again, and pulled off another one. Help wanted to work in a cafe 30,000 jewels location, Cedar Town. I really want to see the ocean, and taste the air there. Then we can also do that farming request, and make some more money. It is only 4 hours away by train, Wendy said as she got a dreamy expression on her face. She had always wanted to travel all over Fiori, and now she could go to all the places she wanted. As long as it was on a mission, that is. If we get 40,000 for doing the farming, and 30,000 for helping the cafe, then let's do it, Naruto said as he did the math in his head. That was 70,000 jewels for one trip, and it was a pretty simple mission. He could make clones do the farming while he and Wendy worked at the cafe. As it turns out, his clones could not use magic since they were constructs of pure chakra. Yeah, let's go Team Foxy Bastards, Kurama yelled before he was tossed off Naruto's shoulder. We are not going to be called Foxy Bastards, Kurama. We are Team Roaring Winds, Naruto yelled at him as Kurama muttered something about having more fun, and then went back to his stop on Naruto's head. Master Rabal, we are going out on a mission. We will most likely be back tomorrow morning, Wendy said as she and Naruto left the cat-shaped guild building with their talking animals. Once they had gotten out of the guild, Naruto took out both golden keys and channeled chakra into them, and once again his two new summons appeared in front of him. You called, Master? Virgo asked emotionlessly. She was happy that he did not seem to have a problem with summoning her. Ares looked nervous to be summoned again, but Naruto smiled and blushed. Turns out that we can't sell the dragon, so since you both seem to be good at simple tasks, I was hoping that you two would know how to make clothes from animals. It just struck me that I have no clothes besides my pants and underwear I am wearing. So if it not too much trouble, could you make more pants and some coats for me out of the dragon? Naruto asked nicely. What do you want for us to do with the rest of the body? Virgo asked while Ares beamed. Making clothes was her favorite thing to do, and she was happy that she could use such a rare material to do it with. She already had tons of idea for coats and pants designs. Since it looked like Naruto did not care about a shirt, she was not going to waste material on it. Naruto wanted to keep his guild mark on display. You can do stuff with the rest? Naruto asked curiously. Yes, sorry for not telling you yesterday. I accept any punishment you will give me, Virgo said with a small smile. She was hoping he would punish her with something good. Your punishment will depend on what you can do with the corpse, Naruto said with a roll of his eyes. She was going to purposely leave things out so that he would punish her, he just knew it. A dragon's skull can be used to make dragon lacrima when combined with the dragon's heart. It is a rare artifact that when implanted gave artificial dragon powers similar to that of the dragon used to make it. You can use the teeth to make weapons and accessories. The scales are good for anti-magic clothes that repel the element the dragon was aligned with, and the organs can be used to make superb meals, Virgo said as she neutrally explained the best things to do with the dragon corpse. How many of these lacrima can you make from this dragon? Naruto asked as Virgo looked at the head with a calculating look. If we take the corpse back to the celestial plane, we can make 3 lacrim, 7 coats, 9 pairs of pants, and about 20 weapons. Are there any weapons you would like? Virgo asked as Ares silently gushed at the amount of clothes they could make. It had been hundreds of years since she had dragon scales to work with. The black color would make some very stylish coats, and amazing pants. If she combined them with her magic wool, it would be amazingly soft as well. You hear that, Wendy? 3 of these lacrima things that we will have for when we are in need of more power, Naruto said as the shy girl nodded with a blush. It sounded nice to have more power, and Grandini had told her that if she ever had the chance to get her hands on a dragon lacrima, she should do it. A dragon slayer that had one implanted into their body would be able to easily enter dragon force after becoming 3rd-generation dragon slayers. That and they would gain an extra element they could combine with their first one. There were 3 types of dragon slayers. First generation, those that were taught by dragons. Second generation, they were normal people before they had a dragon lacrima implanted in their bodies. They could enter an imitation of the dragon force at will. Finally came the third generation. They were first generation that had dragon lacrimas implanted in their bodies, and it allowed them to enter dragon force at will in its complete form. I don't think you need more power, Naruto. You are really strong without using magic, and you already slayed a dragon so you can enter Sky Drive. I would shudder to think what you would do if you became a third generation. Wendy said plainly as Naruto gained an understanding look. Since he had technically bathed in the blood of a dragon, he could enter Sky Drive unlike Wendy. You never know, Wendy. The future is always uncertain, and having an extra boost could be just what a person needs. Naruto said wisely. Unlike Wendy, he knew that when you were offered a chance at more power with no price to it, you needed to take it. Naruto may have all the knowledge about his new magic, but he was not in very much control over it yet, so it would be best to get the power up now so that he would not have to train his control twice. Master, have you decided what my punishment will be? Virgo asked during the silence, and Naruto gave it some thought. He really did not want to, but she wanted him to punish her. Okay, when you finish my clothes, you are only allowed to wear a bathing suit for the next 5 times I summon you. Naruto said as she nodded. Ares had already taken the body to the spirit world to begin working on it. Oh, and how long will it take you to finish all of that? Naruto asked with a cool tone. The lacrima will take 8 years, the clothes 2 days, and 2 years for the spears. Virgo said before she disappeared next. See, Wendy, in 8 years we can turn you into an even more powerful force to be messed with. Until then we are going to train you to the ground. Naruto said with a smile. He did not mind waiting a few years for the lacrima to be finished. Until then he could make Cait shelter the best guild, and fill it with good people after Rabal passed away. Naruto could feel the old man's life force slipping away, and that he was only still alive because of magic. You will be doing no such thing. Wendy is fragile and needs to be treated with care, Carla said with a sure look. Naruto looked between Carla and Wendy and knew that she was going to be annoying to train because of Carla, but well worth the effort. No, she is a dragon slayer and will be treated like one. Coddling her is not what she wants, and it is an insult to her as a person to continue. She will never grow if she is always being coddled. Rabal asked me to look after her because he knows that I won't coddle her any, Naruto stated as he turned to Wendy and looked her in the eyes. You don't want to be coddled, do you? Naruto asked nicely as Wendy hardened her gaze and gave him a cute, determined look. No. I don't want to be coddled. How can I stop being a burden if everyone treats me like a flower? Wendy asked with a rhetorical question at the end. Naruto grinned and had a thought. Kurama, how about you train Carla while me and Wendy go out on the mission? It would be good for the cat to get more training as well, since she is holding Wendy back by making her protect her. Naruto said in a way that made Carla want to train, by playing on her pride. Wendy would be fine with him without Carla. Naruto sent Wendy a wink to tell her that he had a plan. Male Fox, let's go train. Carla yelled angrily as she stormed off. You owe me for this, Naruto. Kurama said as he hopped off Naruto's shoulder and went after the angry cat. He was going to make sure that the cat hated him by the end of training, and he could use this as a chance to practice his new powers as well. Now that they are gone, how about we go catch ourselves a train? Naruto asked as Wendy giggled at the goofy smile he had. She was slowly starting to get used to Naruto's unique way of being himself. All powerful people had weird quirks after all. She decided to have some fun herself and not tell him that once a dragon slayer got to a certain amount of power they would start to suffer from extreme motion sickness. Not being very powerful herself, she did not get it. The more powerful the dragon slayer power you had, the worse it got. Naruto has huge amounts of power, and killed the dragon, so he was going to have it worse than any other dragon slayer alive. Yes, let's go get on the train, Wendy said with a smile as they got moving. Naruto had no idea what he was in for. On the train, 30 minutes later. You know what, this is not that bad. The last time I had seen a train I was nearly run over by it while carrying a princess, Naruto said as they got settled into their seats. The train had yet to move yet, and Wendy's sweat dropped at his first train experience. 321. Wendy thought as the train started moving and Naruto was down on the ground with a green face and moaning in pain. He looked like he was going to puke as his cheeks bulged past normal levels, and the sounds of his upset stomach could be heard loudly. He looked at her with a betrayed look before laying face down and moaning again. He wobbly got up and let his head hang out the window just in case. It's true what they saw. The more powerful the dragon slayer, the worse it gets to be on moving vehicles. I feel sorry for you, Naruto, Wendy said as she started to feel bad. She did not know it would be that bad, and was cursing herself for not warning him. The agony on his face just made her feel much worse. Maybe the funniest thing happened. Naruto puked, but instead of puke a huge gust of wind escaped his mouth and made the train go even faster. Wendy was launched from her seat and smashed her face to the wall. Okay, that was karma, Wendy thought before her face was smashed to the wall as Naruto let loose another gust of wind, and they picked up speed again. That was payback, Wendy thought before it happened again, and she felt a red mark forming on her head. Okay, that was just mean, Wendy thought as she pulled Naruto out from the window and helped him lay down in the seat. Placing her hand on his head, she muttered a soft Troya, and Naruto felt his motion sickness fade slightly. Thanks, Wendy, some warning ahead of time would have been nice. That was horrible, Naruto said as Wendy blushed. A deep red towel matched her marked forehead. Sorry, Naruto. She sighed with a bow. She was surprised when she heard Naruto laughing. No worries, Wendy, no harm done, Naruto said with a good-natured chuckle. He had to admit it must have been funny to see his face. Also, it was hard to be mad at Wendy, and he knew that it was going to hard training her. That involved hitting her, and that face was like cheating. It was not fair. Cedar Town, 4 hours later. Wow, the air tastes great here. It has a salty taste, and the clean air is amazing, Naruto said as Wendy kept inhaling deeply. The air here was addicting to her, and she could not get enough of it. Soon Naruto felt the air pressure take a drop as Wendy started to gulp down the air at a faster pace, and Naruto saw some people holding the sides of their heads in pain. Naruto tapped Wendy on the head and got her to stop eating the air around them. She took her hands away from her mouth as she stopped eating. Taking a deep breath, Naruto exhaled greatly and the air pressure returned to normal. As Sky Dragon Slayers, they were immune to all changes in air pressure, but these people weren't. Wendy, you have to be careful when you eat. These people aren't used to low air pressure, and the sudden change can hurt them, Naruto said as Wendy pouted, but nodded with a hungry expression. She had been hoping to have more of the delicious air. Okay, she muttered as they walked to where the farm was supposed to be. On the train ride over, Wendy had disapproved of his plan to have clones do it for them. She thought that they should do the job themselves. It was already half an hour past noon, and they had just made it to the farm. Outside on the pasture they saw both an older man and woman with shovels digging a hole. Naruto went up to the couple and tapped on the man's shoulder. They saw the Cait shelter mark on his stomach and knew that he was the mage they asked for. Glad you mages could make it. We need the two of you to turn the soil over for fresher use and loosen it up a bit, you hear? The older man said with a toothy smile. Naruto smiled at the simple request. He had seen two jonin do something similar to hide a pit hole during the war. Wendy, go to the other side of the pasture and go to the very far right side. Then when I yell go, I want you to cast vernier on yourself, and then use your roar at me. I will roar at your roar and the dirt surrounding the two roars will be uplifted by the wind and fall back to the ground. Then run to the left while you roar and I will follow your pace. This will let us do this in a few minutes easy, Naruto said just as Wendy nodded and ran to the other side of the field. Naruto counted down from 10 once she got to the other side, and then yelled the word. He saw Wendy glow for a second as she cast the speed-enhancing spell. Roar of the Sky Dragon. The two shouted as they sucked in air and spat it back out in the form of a roaring, winding tornado. The two attacks clashed, and Naruto lowered his power to match hers and they started to run left while facing each other. It was a slower process than when he saw the jonin do it, but after 30 seconds they had finished their work. Naruto looked at the freshly turned soil, and was amazed at how easy magic made things. When Wendy came back over to him, he saw that she was out of breath from holding a low-powered roar for 30 seconds. If it was from holding her breath or using too much magic at once, he did not know. You okay? Naruto asked as Wendy nodded. She had never had to hold a roar that long before. She had plenty of magic left, and she could hold her breath for a long time. Yeah, but I think we should go talk to the couple, Wendy suggested as they went over to the stunned couple. They had thought it would take them a while to do the job, and now that they had seen a mage in action, they were going to spread the word that Cait Shelter had some good workers. So is this to your liking, or would you like us to do another go at it? Naruto asked with a friendly smile. He was hoping to have people like Cait Shelter more by becoming more popular on missions. Then more people would send missions, and the more famous they became, the more people that would want to join Cait Shelter. And oh, this is good. I'll go get you money, and you can be on your way. Mages like you must be pretty busy, the older farmer said as he went inside the nearby house to retrieve their money. While her husband was gone, his wife signed the contract as completed, and Wendy smiled. The C-rank mission here are much easier than the ones from my country. I was kinda surprised at how simple this was. My last C-rank involved being a bodyguard for a spoiled rich girl, Naruto said as he sighed. He had a feeling that S-rank missions would be about the same as an A-rank. Then again, the missions here did not concern high death rates in most cases. A few minutes later the old man came back out with the 40,000 jewels, and handed 20,000 to each Naruto and Wendy. Not that it mattered since they were going to split it anyway. Thank you, young kids. We are going to tell our son about the great service you did. He is the captain of the Sodders here, you know. He would love to have you youngsters watch his kids while he trains the recruits. The old woman said as the two nodded with smiles. Thank you, and I hope you pick Cait Shelter for all your future needs, Naruto said pleasantly as he and Wendy bowed to the older couple. Once that was done they turned to leave, and the old couple watched them go with smiles. Those kids sure were nice. Though I was surprised the boy couldn't tell the young girl was smitten for him, the old woman said as her husband scoffed. That boy must be oblivious, but he is a nice boy. He would treat any girl he ends up with nicely, the older man said with a smile. With Wendy and Naruto. So the next mission isn't for another hour, huh? Naruto asked to make sure he got that right. Yes, the cafe is a hot night spot, I think. I read about it in the Sorcerer as an up-and-coming mage hot spot. They open in the evening and run until midnight, Wendy said as Naruto looked at her, and then himself. He sighed when he realized they weren't dressed for the job. He knew he was going to regret asking this, he knew this from experience, but he needed to ask. I need a shirt, and you need a dress. So do you want to go shopping until we have to go to the job? This is a nice town, and there should be a clothing store nearby, Naruto said before Wendy's girl instincts kicked in at the words clothing and store. Instead of blushing like normal, she squealed and hugged Naruto in happiness. I knew it. Even as a dragon girl, she is indeed a girl. Naruto thought with a small smile as Wendy pulled him by his hand to get to the nearest store. As she pulled him along, neither of them noticed a blue-haired girl holding the same request as them, and the Fairy Tail Guild symbol on her left shoulder blade wearing an orange dress. The 17-year-old girl looked back, but shook her head and went to go prepare for the job she had decided to do alone. The first clash between stray cats and fairies was about to happen. Chapter end. Story start. How does this look? Wendy asked as she modeled what seemed like the 10th dress for Naruto, who looked like he did not care at all. This one was a simple blue dress with white flowers towards the bottom. He had already gotten himself a vest to wear for the job, and now they only had 10 minutes before they had to go to the cafe. Looks fine to me, but I don't have much fashion sense. It would be better to go ask the clerk, but we only have 10 minutes before we need to go anyway. You might as well go with that and let us be on our way, Naruto said as he looked at the clock on the wall. As a normal male, he was not very happy to go on shopping trips. Okay, just let me go pay for this, Wendy said with a small pout. She had been hoping for a different reaction, but figured she was never going to get it by Naruto's bored face. He looked like he was forced to listen to a lecture about the history of moles, and the ways to get them out of your yard safely. Yeah. You do that, Naruto said absent-mindedly, because at the moment, he had started to think about how he was going to rebuild the guild when the old man died in a few months. He had sensed that all the building in the town were also illusions, so when the old man died they would also disappear. He was stuck between making it a larger version of the current guild building, or going with a giant dragon-shaped building. Since right now it was only Wendy and him, they may just rename it as Dragon Shelter. He was not sure what he would do, but he would have to wait to talk about it with Wendy when the old man died. He knew that he was thinking morbidly, but he could not help it. He could tell that the old man had only a few months to live. He may even give up on life any minute now and leave them guildless. He did not want to go join another guild after being in Cait Shelter, since that would be like betraying the old man's memory. So he was going to make Cait Shelter, or Dragon Shelter, the most powerful guild in the world. Naruto, I have some bad news, Wendy said with a blush. Naruto knew from that moment he was going to regret coming here with her, and shopping was always going to end in bad news. It was a given when you were taking someone else. What is it? Naruto asked with an eye twitch. We're broke again, Wendy said as her eyes never left her shoes. She could not look him in the eye and tell him that. Then we better not fail this next mission request, Naruto stated as he stood up. This was in his old friend Shikamaru's words a drag. Okay, Naruto. I won't let you down, Wendy said shyly while she avoided his gaze. She felt him place his hand on her head, and she looked at him, smiling at her with a toothy grin. As long as you try your hardest and never give up, you will never let me down, Wendy. You're still young, so of course you will mess up eventually, but us being broke is not a mess up. Just a minor setback. Now let's get out of here. The smell of desperate women is starting to get to me, Naruto whispered with a playful wink, and Wendy giggled as she looked at the blushing women staring at Naruto like a hunk of hunky meat. The two walked out of the store and walked quickly to the cafe they were going to be working at, and saw a blue-haired girl glaring at the manager of the cafe. What do you mean you can't let me work until the other mages you hired get here? The blue-haired girl said with an eye twitch. You could see the burning fury in her eyes. Naruto felt sorry for the people that were going to have to deal with this spitfire. Naruto, that's Levi McGarden. She was called the strongest mage on the weakest team in all of Fairy Tail, Wendy said excitedly. She had always admired Fairy Tail and its mages. That, and she respected the women of Fairy Tail. Levi turned around when she heard her name said, and she saw two people walking towards her. She was about to greet them when the manager of the cafe rushed forward. You are Z mages from Cait Shelter, I presume? The manager said in a thick accent. Naruto looked at Levi and sighed. Yes, we are Naruto Uzumaki and Wendy Marvel from Cait Shelter. When we accepted this job, though, there was no mention we would have to work with another guild. Please explain why you set this up? Naruto asked with a hard look. His killing intent focused on the manager enough so that the man took a step back. As you may have heard, sir, this is a mage's cafe, and to the average mage nothing is better than watching two mages do battle. We weekly pit mages from two guilds against each other to showcase many different magics across the world. The manager, whose name tag read Naruto could not read, said with a pale face. Sounds cool to me, Naruto said as Wendy and Levi's sweat dropped. Are you sure we should take this job, Naruto? Wendy asked with a nervous glance at Levi. I am not as strong as you, and I don't want this to look bad on our guild, Wendy continued as Naruto looked at Levi with a critical eye. The blue-haired girl looked away with a blush, and felt like she was naked before his gaze. I think you can take her, Naruto said with a grin, and Levi frowned at being underestimated. Well then, Mr. Zephyr, I will accept this job as well. Levi said as she looked over who she thought was going to be her opponent. Wendy winced at the sharp look, and hid behind Naruto. Very well, Zen. I would like for you all to get into costume for Z match, Mr. Zephyr said as one word rang through their heads. Costumes? 10 minutes later, Naruto was trying to hold back his laughter. He really was. The man that was paying them had gotten both Wendy and Levi the most fitting costumes he had. A big cat suit, and a fairy princess outfit. Naruto looked at the two blushing brunettes, and took a very deep breath. They were all in a waiting room, and would have to wait for another half-hour before the fight began. It was Levi that spoke up first. So I hear there was a dragon sighting in the area your guild was located at. Is it true? Levi asked nicely. Her guildmate Natsu would love to hear any information about a dragon sighting, and most of Fiori had heard that there had been a sighting. Wendy giggled at the question and Naruto grinned. Levi took offense to it, and blushed red. What's so funny? She shouted before she eeped and blushed further at yelling. It was not really a sighting, more like a person dragging a freshly killed dragon through town. I should know, I am the one who slayed the dragon, Naruto Uzumaki, professional dragon slayer at your service. Naruto said with a bow, and Levi was suddenly very glad she was not fighting Naruto. A person that killed a dragon and lived was not someone she could take in a fight. She was only a B-class mage after all, and killing a dragon was above what even most usual S-class mages could hope to do. What kind of magic do you use? Levi asked, and she felt that she already knew. She just wanted to confirm her suspicions, and for her friend she hoped that she could convince him to own to her guild for a visit. I use multiple different magic styles, but the question you want me to answer is, am I a dragon slayer or not? Then the answer is yes, I am indeed a dragon slayer, Naruto said with a smirk. Z audience is ready for you. Do not worry about hurting Z audience, there is a barrier around Z stage to keep you and your attacks in, the manager said with a smile. The barrier was set up to take B-class spells, and neither of the girls fighting were A-class, so it should be fine. Once the girls had gotten on the stage they all saw ruin magic symbols appear. A-class spells and higher cannot be used. The ruins had written in mid-air, and right under it was the only other rook. No people or attacks might leave the boundary except until someone admits defeat. Good luck, kid, but I don't plan on losing, Levi said with a sad smile. She felt bad that she was about to fight a little kid, but she needed the money for rent. Her teammates had already caused her to fail her last 10 missions, and as much as she liked them she just had to go on a mission alone. I only have one battle spell under A-class. That and I only have 2 battle spells period. Wendy thought as she nervously looked at Naruto, who sent her a reassuring smile. She felt a fire light in her stomach as she gazed at Levi with determination. Start. Play 1000-foot crutch war of change, solid script chains, Levi said as she wrote the word chain in midair, and the words flew at Wendy at high speeds. Wendy had less than 3 seconds to think up a counter for the chains, since they were too widespread to dodge. An aura of wind surrounded the small girl's fist, and she raised it above her head. Sky Dragon's Iron Fist, Wendy said as she swung his fist down to the ground right before the chains hit her, and a current of wind caused TH chains to go around her. Using her other hand she grabbed one of the chains and swung it at Levi. Nice try. Solid script hole, Levi said as a hole appeared under the older brunette, and she dodged under the chain by going in the hole. Solid script ice, Levi yelled as the word ice appeared above the hole, and then it turned to shards of ice and shot at Wendy. Wendy ducked under one, but then 2 hit her in the stomach and knocked her off the ground. Her dragon durability came in handy as she got right back up after the attack. Wendy, use your brains. Don't just attack, feel her out first, Naruto said from outside the barrier as he served some women plates of some kind of food. He knew from the start that Levi had an advantage, but Wendy's dragon durability would allow her to hold out. Wendy nodded and jumped up over the hole. Turning her head to the ceiling she fired a weakened roar of wind at it. Then she was shot downward in the hole and dust shot up out of the hole. The sounds of battle came out of the hole for about 30 minutes, and then Levi was shot out of the hole with bruises covering her arms and stomach. Naruto nodded at Wendy's plan. In the hole it would be darker, and Wendy's better eyes would be able to track movement faster. Add that to the fact she had better close combat spells that Levi and you have a game changer. Wendy jumped out of the hole a few seconds later and Naruto saw she had a black eye and cut lip. Solid script fire, Levi said tiredly as she wrote the word fire, and it sent a fireball at Wendy. Wendy used a similar tactic as she did when she stopped the chains to take down the fireball. The fireball dispersed in embers and Wendy started to eat the air around her, and Levi started to choke as the air disappeared. Naruto made sure that he was supplying the customers with air so they did not choke. I give up, Levi shouted as the air returned to her, and she fell to her knees. The crowd clapped and cheered at the battle, when Wendy fell to her knees next. She was not suited for battle. Winner Cait Shelter, and next week is Lamia Scale vs. Phantom Lord, the voice said as Naruto walked up to the 2 girls and placed them next to each other. Good job you two. Sky Dragon's healing, Naruto said as his palms glowed and he started to heal both the girls and restore their strength. They both sighed in relief, and Wendy wondered if this was what it felt like to be healed by her magic. She was unable to heal herself, so she never got the chance to try it before. You both are dragon slayers. I have a question for you too. Have either ever heard of a Drayden named Igneal? Levi asked curiously. Both dragon slayers shook their heads as Levi sighed. At least she tried. But Natsu was going to try and fight Naruto anyway when he heard that Naruto had seen and killed a dragon. I had never even seen a dragon until I had ran into the one that I fought. Wendy here was trained by one, and the only other dragon slayer I even know about is my friend Killer Bee. Sorry if I was not of any help, Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head. Is Killer Bee a guy that raps, and has 7 swords on his back and one huge one with him as well? Dark skin, sunglasses, and white hair, also has an 8-tentacled octobull with him. Levi asked with a sweat drop. Killer Bee was the name of the guy that had recently walked into their guild and kicked Laxus ass, then left saying something about finding his little buddy. Yeah, how did you know? Naruto asked in surprise. Wendy on the other hand was surprised that there was another dragon slayer she had not heard about. He came into our guild and rapped out finding his foxy little buddy. The Laxus, an S-class maid we have, tried to fight him for demanding information from us. He kicked Laxus' ass and made a rap about how easy it was. Then he left when his animal thing started to yell at him. I wonder who the unlucky girl that guy's friend, Levi said as Naruto glared at her. I am that foxy buddy. He was making a reference to my cheek marks. Naruto said as Levi paled when she realized she called Naruto a girl. She gulped and closed her eyes, but opened them when she heard Naruto laughing. I am going to have to kick that guy's ass when I see him for calling me that, Naruto said with a chuckle. Naruto jumped in surprise when he heard Kurama's voice in his head though. Hey Naruto, there is some kids at the guild looking for you. They came looking for the man that killed the dragon, and they have those weird talking cats with them. What should I tell them? They are asking me a lot of annoying questions. Kurama asked through the link. Naruto was surprised they still had. Tell them that I will be back at the guild in about 5 hours. What do they look like? Naruto asked back in confusion. He had already guessed that they were dragon slayers from the reason they came to the guild. One has blonde hair and blue eyes with a scar on his face, and the other has messy black hair and reddish-brown eyes and an Uchiha skull on his face. Rabala says he has something to tell you when you return though, and it has to do with the guild. Kurama said before he cut the link. Naruto blinked when he realized that the girls were looking at him strangely. You okay, Naruto? Wendy asked, seeing his blank look. Yeah, just fine. Anyway, I think we should go get paid and leave. Thank you for giving Wendy battle experience. If this had not been a restricted battle you would have won for sure. Now I know what I need to teach Wendy for her training. Oh, and tell your guild master that if any of your guild members causes any trouble for my guild I am going to beat the shit out of them for sure, Naruto said as Levi's sweat dropped. It looks like Natsu was going to get the shit beat out of him soon. Would you be interested in stopping by Fairy Tales sometime? I think it would be a good experience for Wendy-chan. Levi asked as Naruto shook his head no. Until her training is over we are only leaving the guild for missions. We don't have the luxury of money right now to spend on going places. Maybe when she masters her powers and can impress me with the strength of her roar, but until then she is on strict lockdown and I am too. Naruto said as Wendy pouted. Naruto ignored it since it was for her own good. Well, can I visit your guild sometime? I have a friend that would love to ask you some questions, and if he is not kept on a leash he would break something. Levi asked again as she thought about Natsu, and her new friend Lucy. She had seen the 2 golden keys Naruto started to keep around his neck, and knew Lucy would love to talk to him. Sure, but make sure you let us know before you actually come, Naruto said as he and Wendy turned to leave after giving her a quick goodbye. They went by the manager and got their pay and left the area, leaving a blushing Levi behind. 5 hours later the guild. I want you to train me to beat Natsu Drangneil of Fairy Tail. One Sting said as Naruto had an eye twitch. When he had gotten back to the guild he had been immediately rushed by 2 12-year-old boys with talking cats. The one named Sting was currently bowing to him, and the one named Rogue was looking away. No, Naruto stated simply as he walked past the 2 boys and cats. Why? Sting asked as he ran in front of Naruto again. You aren't in the same guild as me so it would be harder to train you, and I already have somebody I am training, Naruto said as the 2 younger dragon slayers had an idea. Then let us join Cait's shelter. The guild master said that we could as long as you said it was okay, Rogue said with a sly and calculating look that reminded Naruto of Shikamaru just before he won a game. I don't care, and as long as you don't ruin the image of Cait's shelter you can join it for all I care. Go tell Tay old man that I said it was alright. Did he tell you why you needed my approval? Naruto asked as the boys looked like Christmas had come early and would last for a year. Yeah, something about how he was getting old and you were the most likely choice to become next guild master or something, Sting answered as Wendy close by looked really surprised. She was not very surprised at the fact that Sting and Rogue had come to talk to Naruto. After all, the news of a dead dragon would most likely reach the ears of every dragon slayer. They were bound to come and either seek training or fight Naruto. Wendy, can you please go take them to get their guild stamps while I go talk to the old man? Naruto asked nicely as Wendy nodded and took the boys away to become official parts of the guild. Naruto sighed and calmed himself. Naruto, calm down. This is a good thing, and the more members we have the easier it will be to become the top guild. Sure, they may be young, but they can be trained up to be stronger than average. Naruto thought as he walked to where he sensed the guild master. Once he got the area the old man was, he found Rabal expecting him. "Ah, Naruto-kun, I am glad you could make it. I have some important news to tell you. Now you may not know this, but I am Rabal," started before Naruto interrupted him. "Are not long for this world, and when you die the guild will disappear. You want me to watch out for the kids and make a new guild when it happens," Naruto said as Rabal looked surprised. "Kurama told me that the whole town except for you was an illusion. I already had full plans to keep Cait's shelter running after your death, so no worries," Naruto said as Rabal sighed in relief. He could die happy now knowing that the kids would be well looked after. "Can you do me another favor, Naruto-kun? I would be ever so happy if you could make Cait's shelter a home for people with no place to go. A family when you are down on your luck," Rabal asked as Naruto smiled and nodded, not even thinking about it before he responded. "Old man, I would be happy to make Cait's shelter a big family when you die," Naruto said as he got up and left the old man to himself. He had a group to start training. Chapter end. Story start. Again. Naruto commanded as all 3 young dragon slayers went their strongest roars at the sky. It had been about 2 months since Naruto and Wendy had come back from their mission and met the opposite dragon slayers. Every day Naruto would have them fire their strongest attacks at the sky over and over until they could no longer stand. Then he would restore their energy with his sky dragon healing spell and have them start all over again. Again, Naruto shouted louder as the huffing kids puffed out their cheeks. Roar of the sky light shadow dragon. Wendy, Sting, and Rogue yelled as they launched one final roar at the sky and fell to their knees from exhaustion. "We have Huff been doing this for Huff 2 months now. When are we going Huff to start battle training?" Sting asked the older male, who responded by kicking him in the ribs softly. Sting winces as he was sent flying and hit the ground. A light kick from Naruto hurt like no tomorrow. A dragon's most powerful attack is its roar, and this is its most magic consuming. By forcing you to rid your bodies of most of its magic, your magic container in your body will grow larger and the magic will get denser, meaning you will have more potent attacks, and that means more powerful. Naruto lectured as Wendy already recovered by filling up on air. This training was best suited for her because of her element was always at the ready for use. "Now all of you drop and give me 200. No breaks," Naruto said as he made 2 shadow clones to go sit on Sting and Rogue's backs while he sat on Wendy's back. He was pure evil when he was tyranning his students. Naruto blinked when he realized how much like Team 7 this was. Sting was hyper, happy, and energetic like him. Wendy was smart, loyal, and had near-perfect magic control like Sakura. Finally Rogue was the dark, silent, handsome type holding back his darker thoughts like Sasuke. Then there was him, the one that was both cool and fun while having been through war like Kakashi. He just hoped that Rogue never lost someone precious to him and go insane, killing Sting for power so that he could avenge his loved one by taking out the one responsible. Naruto smiled as he watched his clones slap the back of the boys' heads for slowing down. Naruto felt Wendy slowing down as well, so he raised his hand and chopped her on the head. "No slowing down, Wendy. This is for your own good." Naruto said he saw Wendy blink away the pain tears in her eyes and start doing more push-ups. He was going to have to think up an award for them that did not leave him broke. At the moment there was only one mission left that they had not done, and it was an S rank, so he did not want to take anyone but Kurama with him. Kurama needed a break from training the cats anyway, since Naruto had made it an official rule that they would have to stay behind during missions so that Kurama could train them to be more useful than a pair of wings to carry their slayers around. "You are a bastard master!" Sting yelled in anger. The boys had started calling Naruto that when he agreed to train them. He had honestly told them he did not want to be called that, but they insisted. Something about how they did not have the right to call him by his name until they each had defeated the opponent they were set out to. "I know my father, thank you very much. He was just that needed a woman to tell him what to do. Damn old man stealing my sealed hatred mode, making it seem like I ripped off him instead of the other way around." "Move, Dad, move," Naruto said before he mumbled his rant about his dad. Wendy was the only one that heard his rant, and she sweat dropped. She had gained some confidence over the 2 months, but even she was not used to how random Naruto could be, and she was not about to talk back to him, or call him on it. "Master, what are we doing after this today? Running or pain tolerance training?" Rogue asked as he looked up at Naruto. Naruto grinned from his spot on Wendy's back, and the 3 dragon slayers shivered. "Pain tolerance training today, and we are going to do that with a good old game of hide and try not to die." Naruto grinned as Wendy shed tears for her soon-to-be ruined outfit. As a girl she was the only one that really cared about the state of her clothes. If Rogue or Sting had their clothes shredded from training they would call it a good day's workout. She was lucky she knew how to sew, and that she now knew to only wear her work clothes for training. So with that they did their push-ups, and the only sound that was heard was the occasional head slap and shout of pain. "Okay hatchlings, you have 3 seconds before I start throwing shuriken at you," Naruto said as they all stood up and ran as far away in the clearing as they could before he nailed them with 1 shuriken each. They each yelled in pain as he nailed them right in the right butt cheek. Pulling the strings attached to the weapons they came right out and sword to Naruto, the blood flying off before they got to his hand. They were lucky that, even if you could not see them normally, They had scales to keep the weapons from going any deeper than a few centimeters. A long 3 hours later they got healed by Naruto and listened as he gave them their score for the day. Sting, you fired off 15 fully formed roars today before you needed a refill, same as yesterday, so no improvement. You completed your push-ups in 46 minutes, 3 faster than yesterday, so good job there. You were hit by 29 shuriken though, which is 1 less than yesterday. Overall your grade for the day is a low B, much better than your C last week. Naruto said as Sting jumped for joy at his own improvement. Naruto smiled at how he was having a small celebration, and decided not to tell he was not ready for any missions over C-class yet. Good job, Sting. Rogue said neutrally, but with a small smile. You did nice today. Wendy said nicely, and was secretly hoping she did better so she could impress her, not so, secret crush Naruto. The only person who did not notice her crush was Naruto himself, either that or he was waiting for her to mature. They could never tell with him. Rogue, you fired off 12 fully powered roars and 1 half-powered, so very little improvement from the 12 yesterday. You did your push-ups in 50 minutes even, the same as yesterday, so no improvement. Finally, only 15 shuriken hit you and that is 10 less than yesterday, so great job. Your grade is a high C, nice work but not ready for the tougher missions just yet. Naruto said with a sympathetic look to the understanding boy. Rogue nodded and smiled at his improvement. You will do better next time, buddy. Sting said encouragingly. Wendy decided to stay silent on this one since she was nervous about her own. The highest grade usually got to go on one of the more recently showing up missions. Naruto's fame as a dragon killer, and the way people loved having the Cait Shelter Guild members on missions was boosting the amount they were getting. They were going to be needing more members sooner than later, but right now they would get about a mission every 2 or 3 days, not counting the S-class missions that were sent to every guild. Naruto would not let them go on those anyway, and usually went with Kurama and left them with a clone. Those days were only light training. Last but not least, Wendy. You fired off 20 full-powered roars and a half-powered one. You have some great control over how much power you put into them because you got 3 more than yesterday. Second, you were able to do the push-ups in 47 minutes, 1 more than yesterday. Nice breathing technique you used to keep up the same pace, small improvement. Finally, you were only hit by 5 shuriken, but that is to be expected since you can predict where they are coming from and your flexibility helps you in this. I give you a solid B, Naruto said with a frown. She had great control, reserves, and her brain was higher functioning than the boys, so this test was actually not a far judgment of her power at this moment. He would need to make a harder test for her that put her on a fair playing field with the boys, because otherwise the judging was unfair. Wow, top of the class again, Wendy, Sting said with a teasing tone. Rogue snorted at Sting's joke, but kept to himself. Hey Kurama. How are the cats coming along? Naruto asked as Kurama looked at the knocked out cats from across the clearing. These cats are weak. Nowhere near mission ready until they can use some other form of attack, and as they are 1 or 2 attacks will be all it takes to have them pushing up flowers. Kurama yelled back to Naruto, who sighed. Half the guild was preteen dragon slayers, and the other half were useless in battle cats. He had a lot of work ahead of them to get them ready to take on the harder missions. Sting and Rogue, tomorrow you two can go on a C-class mission together. You knew the rules for mission. Naruto started as he let them finish the sentence. We are Cait Shelter and will not break your stuff, rip you off, or steal your food. We of Cait Shelter are a nice fun-loving guild that will get the job done with a smile at the end. We never leave a comrade behind for the sake of the mission, and will never abandon good people. Cait Shelter mages do not go on missions they are not ready for, and in the class of mislabeled missions will request backup from a mage with the skills needed. Please choose Cait Shelter for all your mission needs. The 3 younger dragon slayers said in unison. This was one of the reasons Cait Shelter had become more popular in the last month with the council. They never caused any destruction or property damage, and the people they did requests for never complained about them. Cait Shelter was slowly becoming more and more popular. Naruto stood up and dusted off his new dragon skin coat and pants. The coat was actually a pure black version of his sage cloak with long sleeves and the inside was red, while he also wore pants of the same design, leaving his stomach exposed where his guild mark was proudly on display. He had to admit the red and black thing worked for him, and he found it ironic that as the ace of Cait Shelter he wore something similar to what Gillarts from Fairy Tail wore. The difference though was that Naruto wore a coat, not a cloak, and his was made of dragon scales. Ares had made amazing clothes. Where are you going, Naruto? Wendy asked curiously. There is an S-class mission on the board, and I was going to take Kurama and see if we can go complete. You guys aren't ready for an S-class just yet, so don't even ask, Naruto said looking straight at Sting. 2 months of training did not make a person ready for S-class anything. Hell yeah. You and me, no kids, just like old times, partner. Kurama shouted as he sprouted bat wings and flew to his place on Naruto's head. The wings vanished and Kurama grinned mockingly at the kids. See you suckers later, Kurama said with a look that said he knew how annoyed they were. Wendy. I am trusting you to look after the guild when I go to this Galuna Island? Naruto asked and Wendy nodded. Naruto had gotten a little better at ready, but still had trouble with some names of places. The reward was 7 million jewels and a golden key, so Naruto knew he would have to take this job soon. He did not care about the key, and he was going to give it or sell it to another mage when he got the chance. You can count on me, Wendy said as the two boys looked annoyed at not being called out to look after the guild. They were stronger than Wendy, but Naruto still trusted her more than them. Then I am off. Sting and Rogue, make sure nothing happens to Wendy when she is watching the guild. Anything happen to her and I will have Ares use your hides to make a new jacket. Naruto threatened as a dark aura surrounded him, and the two kids hugged each other in terror while shaking their heads yes. The dark aura disappeared and Naruto was his usual smiling self again. With his final piece Kurama grew his wings and they flew off in the direction Galuna Island was. Naruto may suck with directions, but Kurama had memorized the map for his partner. Hey Kurama, do you get the feeling something is going to go wrong on this mission? Naruto asked with a serious look. Nope, I just have the feeling I get whenever I know I am about to run into an annoying red-headed woman, Kurama said as he shivered and dropped Naruto a few hundred feet on accident. Oh shit, pier leading to Galuna Island. 2 hours later, Naruto and Kurama looked around the pier and saw that nobody was willing to go to Galuna Island. Naruto knew for a fact that there was something about the island scaring people now. Naruto heard a crash and saw a pink-haired boy kick the hell out of a black-haired guy while a blonde girl watched. Then he saw their fairy tale symbols and the flying cat, talking cat. That boy must be a dragon slayer, Naruto thought with narrowed eyes. He put on a friendly face and walked over to them. Hello, I was wondering if this boat leads to Galuna Island? I am Naruto Uzumaki from Cait Shelter. An S-class mage here to remove the curse from your island, Naruto greeted and asked in a friendly way. You're an S-class mage. You can't be older than 16. The blonde girl shouted in shock. Does age really matter in how strong a person is? Naruto asked as the girl looked sheepish. Sorry. I'm Lucy, nice to meet you Naruto-san, and this is Natsu Drang Neil. The one knocked out is Grey Filibuster. The girl named Lucy introduced as Natsu looked at him with suspicion. Some more people coming to help the cursed island. Welcome aboard, all help is welcome and appreciated. The boat driver said, but Naruto shook his head negative. I just need to follow your boat. I can't handle transportation at all, Naruto said, making Natsu nod to him sagely. I know the feeling. Right Happy? Natsu asked his talking cat. Aye, Natsu sucks with transportation, Happy said as he floated around. Would you brats hurry and get on the boat? 10 minutes later on the water, the second Natsu had gotten on the boat he was immediately sick, and the others looked at him in pity. Naruto more so because he knew the feeling, and it was not pleasant. Useful magic you got there kid. Bobo the boat driver said as Lucy nodded, and Natsu glared jealously. Not really, this is just something I picked up over the years. So what kinds of magic do you all use Lucy? Naruto asked as he and Kurama, who had fallen asleep on his head a while ago, relaxed into the walk. Natsu uses Fire Dragon Slayer magic, and Grey uses Ice Make magic. I use Celestial Spirit magic, and aim to collect as many golden keys as possible, Lucy said nicely as Grey started to stir. Naruto blinked at her magic, and grinned. So you are here because you want the golden key? Naruto asked as Lucy nodded. Too bad you can never get all of the keys, Naruto said with a look that had Lucy shiver. Why can't I get them all? Lucy asked with narrowed eyes, but then she saw a glint of gold around Naruto's neck. Her eyes widened and she pointed at him with a shaking hand. You're a Celestial Spirit mage too? Lucy yelled, and Naruto had to rub his ears. Wrong. I just have 2 keys, and am not going to part with them. Don't even try and ask me to give them up. Aries and Virgo are not for sale, but you can keep the key from this mission. I am just in it for the money, Naruto said with a glare at her. She raised her hands in surrender, and Bobo laughed. Kid, you remind me a lot of the chief of this village. I should give you kids fair warning though. This island is very dangerous, and is cursed by demons, Bobo said as his arm turned demonic, and part of his face joined it. Every night under the moon we become more and more demonic, Bobo said in a creepy way. Lucy gulped while Naruto rolled his eyes. Grey had woken up during the explanation and looked nervous for whatever reason. Suddenly the boat lurched and only Naruto saw Bobo grow wings and flew away. Where did the old man go? Lucy asked as they noticed the man had disappeared. Naruto kept it to himself that Bobo was a demon, and decided that the waves were the more important issue here. Maybe he was never there in the first place, Naruto said with a grin. Grey looked at Naruto in suspicion, but let it go for the moment. Naruto watched them freak out about the old man for a few more minutes, but then Natsu said something that got them worried. Do you hear something? He asked from his position on the boat floor. Naruto rolled his eyes at HWO. They missed the tidal wave in the first place. These people were dumber than even him. That was saying something. Roar of the Sky Dragon. The fairy tale mages heard as they saw a huge roar bigger than anything Natsu had ever done, Andy of Wind, tear through the wave and make the path much safer. They turned and saw Naruto in a roaring position. Naruto stopped and kept walking on ahead. You're a dragon slayer? Lucy shouted in surprise. Grey looked much more on alert now that he had seen that. Yeah, but I prefer using my own skills I made, Naruto said as the fairy tale mages were stunned into silence. Another dragon slayer. 2 hours later on the island. Kurama, can you feel this? Naruto asked as the boat landed on the island. Natsu was kissing the ground, while Lucy looked at him with an annoyed look. "Oh, man up, you big baby," Gray stated before he was cut off by Naruto. Actually, his reaction is normal for dragon slayers who have a certain amount of magical power. Extreme motion sickness is the downside of being a powerful dragon slayer. I have the same problem, and 2 of my students have a lighter case of it, Naruto said as Gray blinked in surprise. Who knew that Natsu was not faking it all these years? You have 2 dragon slayers as students? Lucy asked with a disbelieving look. 3. Cait's shelter has only 4 members not counting the master, and we are all dragon slayers. No, Natsu, we do not know where your dragon parent is. 3 of us have killed dragons, and my female student was abandoned as well by hers, Naruto said as he left our names and other important information. You killed a dragon? Natsu asked loudly. Yeah, the bastard attacked me out of nowhere. The weak fat ass only lasted a few minutes before I sliced its head off and had its skin for my clothes, Naruto said as he gestured to his clothes. What guild are you a part of? Gray asked as Naruto pointed at his exposed chest and stomach, the Cait shelter mark on display, and Lucy hit the side of her own head at Gray's ignorance. The sorcerer had done a report in their magazine on the rise and popularity of the guild, Cait shelter. I am surprised that you guys did not know that. Being S-class mages, you should at least be able to tell what guild a person is from, Naruto said as they all blushed in embarrassment. They refused to look him in the eye as Naruto narrowed his eyes. You aren't S-class mages, are you? Naruto asked as he watched things turn awkward. At least tell me that you officially took this request and did not steal it from your request board, Naruto asked as there was another awkward silence, and Gray glared at Natsu and Happy. Well, at least that means you can't accept the reward, since you never officially accepted the request. That means more money for me, Naruto said happily as Lucy just realized that you did not have to be paid if the request was not given the go-ahead by the guild master, or you did not have an S-class mage from your guild with you. Damn it! Chapter end. Story start. 5%? Lucy asked Naruto as they walked towards the village on the map. Naruto raised an eyebrow and laughed. No. Do you all know how much trouble you can get in for what Natsu and Happy did? Jail time, and it is possible to have your guild disbanded because of this if the council find out. I hear they really hate you guys gut, Naruto said as he both denied them the money, and made them all pale at the thought of Fairy Tail being forced to disband. Wendy had informed Naruto of the many laws a guild has to follow if they want to stay a guild, and he was glad because he might have gotten Cait shelter disbanded if he messed up. No way. Fairy Tail is the best, Natsu denied loudly. The very thought that there would not be a Fairy Tail anymore was too much for the pink-haired boy to even consider. Also, if it was his fault, it would feel like scum for making his friends lose their home. Maybe if Cait shelter wasn't around it would be the best, Naruto said with confidence. He knew for a fact if he did not hold back he would be able to take over this whole country if he wanted to, and nobody would have the power to stop him. He had actually been through war unlike these people, and they only used magic. A single energy type, while he had magic and chakra. Chakra was a dual energy type that combined physical and spiritual energy, making it about 2 times more powerful on average. Naruto had chakra so dense it was about 20 times more powerful than magic, and Naruto's own magic power was nothing to laugh at. It was a good thing for this nation that Naruto was not a bad guy, or they were screwed. In your dreams, bastard. I would like to see you fight Urza, Gray said, taking offense to Naruto's remark. Naruto suddenly frowned and looked at Kurama. The fox nodded and jumped into the bushes, and the sounds of fighting could be heard before Kurama came back out of the bushes with a pink-haired girl knocked out. Naruto looked at her and saw a bite mark on her ass. Oh my god! Lucy yelled before Naruto glared at her in irritation. Did she really think completing an S-class was going to be easy, or that nobody else was going to attack them? Why did you have your fox attack her? Gray asked with narrowed eyes. This girl smells tainted, much like the island. This girl has come in contact with something she should not have, and I can feel that she will be a good way to get information in the near future. Natsu, can you smell what I smell on her? Naruto asked as for once Natsu was the level-headed one of the group. He smelled the pig-tailed, pink-haired girl and frowned. I can smell a demon scent on her, and 3 other mages. I don't think she is here to help the people on the island, Natsu said as Naruto got a scroll out of his inner pocket and unrolled it. He placed the girl on top of the scroll and in a puff she vanished. Naruto nodded to himself and looked at the Fairy Tail team. You guys go explore this island, and I will head to the village. I am the only one that should be here, so you guys make sure not to destroy anything important, Naruto said with a frown. Kurama snickered from his spot on Naruto's shoulder and watched the fun go on. Who are you to order us around? Gray asked in an angry tone before he saw a dark aura surround Naruto, and he stepped back. That was scarier than Urza when she was angry, or someone else had eaten her cake. I am the man that can beat you to the ground with one hit, and then make you beg for the pain to stop. I am letting you participate in the mission when I don't have to. I can sue your guild for interfering in my mission. Did you forget that when a mage is not on a mission they are considered a civilian, and civilians are not allowed to interfere with an active mage's mission? Naruto said. He was not really going to sue them since Levi was a member of Fairy Tail, and she was his friend. But he was not about to have someone ruin one of the few bonding moments he had with his buddy Kurama. Run, little humans, run and make fools of yourselves. Kurama muttered with a savage grin, and Naruto's sweat dropped at how his friend was reacting. Naruto watched the fairy tale mages leave and sighed. Now he could check up on his guild in peace. He left a shadow clone there to train the kids, so all he had to do was make a shadow clone and pop it. Then his other clone would make a shadow clone and pop it. It was much better than any other forms of communication out there. Naruto crossed his fingers and, poof poof asterisk. Naruto felt the clone's memories fill his head, and he rubbed his head in annoyance. Sting and Rogue had put themselves in the medical ward of the guild from trying new moves before they were ready, and were covered in injuries that would take even Wendy a week to fully heal. Though his clone has told her to heal them just enough so that they could move, their punishment was to not get the pain healed by Wendy. Naruto's clone was also able to smell changes in Wendy's pheromones starting to take place. That meant she was either going into heat, or she was starting puberty soon. Naruto sighed and grabbed the bridge of his nose. He had been hoping that she would not start until they had a female guild member that could explain everything to her instead of him doing it. Maybe he should give Levi a call and see if she would be willing to come to the guild and teach Wendy about the birds and the bees. Explaining things like periods to a young girl was not his job. Ha 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 ha. Kurama laughed as he reviewed the clone's memories as well. Today was a great day so far, kicked some ass, scared some brats, and now Naruto was going to have to explain the changes into being a woman to a young girl. Naruto grabbed Kurama by the snout and tossed him to the ground. You have to explain mating to the cats, so I don't know why you are laughing. Naruto shouted as they neared the village. Kurama stopped laughing at Naruto and groaned. That was much worse than giving the talk to Wendy and the boys when they aged more. They walked in silence for a while before they made it to wooden gates. Halt! What business do you have with this village? One of the gatekeepers yelled as Naruto rolled his eyes and pulled out the job request, and pointed at his guild mark. I am the mage from Cait Shelter that has answered your job request, Naruto said just as loud back, and a few seconds later the gates opened and the two partners walked into the village. Naruto. These people are demons, they don't become demons. I feel something in the air that is meddling with their minds. There is some kind of cursed being on this island. Kurama sent his thoughts to Naruto. Naruto nodded to show he understood. Welcome, young mage. I was expecting somebody older when the quest was accepted, but you will do. Before I tell you what you need to do, I would like to show you what this curse has done to us. I am Moka, this village's leader, Moka said as Naruto watched the villagers remove the large cloaks they were using to cover their forms. Once the cloaks were removed, the first thing Naruto noticed was the old man's freaky sideburns. The demonic body parts were not as weird as those eyebrows. I already know about your plight, but what do you want me to do about it? Naruto asked with a glare, then he blinked and wondered what was up. Ever since he got on this island he had been really quick to anger. Like something was trying to mess with his mind as well. I want you to destroy the moon, Moka said as he expected some kind of answer about it being impossible. Only for Naruto to look at Kurama and sigh. You want me to destroy the moon for 7 million jewels? Sorry, but that is just wrong, Naruto said with a sad look. He would be facing a lot of shit if he destroyed the moon, and he would be needing more money than that to do the job. It would take a lot of power to destroy the purple moon. We can raise the reward to 700 million jewels, $7 million, but no higher than that, and a golden key, Moka said with an excited look, since Naruto was not saying no, just that he needed more money for his efforts. Deal. Kurama, let's get our forbidden move ready, Naruto said as he stood still and entered Sage mode. Kurama hopped up on his shoulder, and they both charged up their powers to the fullest. Naruto held his arms apart and charged this spell with all his sage energy, chakra, and magic. Kurama let all of his energy flow inside his mouth as fire leaked from his teeth. Secret Sky Dragon's slaying art, shattering light, sky drill. Naruto shouted as a huge magic circle appeared under his feet. The villagers were no longer able to stand at the power Naruto was using. Naruto had already entered Sky Drive and was more powerful than before. Secret demon art, burning earth, Nova flame. Kurama shouted as he waited for Naruto to finish his attack. Naruto moved both his arms in a counterclockwise circle and the biggest attack to ever exist shot from over his shoulder and traveled straight to the purple moon. Kurama let loose his ultimate attack and they both combined to become something that could be seen from across the country. Unison raid, Nova drill. The two yelled as the attack went straight through the purple moon and a barrier over the island broke and the sky turned normal. The people on the island fully turned into demons and regained their memories. That was when they all noticed the attack was still going to the actual moon. It just kept going and going until people all over Fiori saw the attack hit the moon and punched straight through it. And when the attack disappeared they saw that the moon was no more. Naruto and Kurama collapsed backwards as one of the demons caught the two tired people. It had taken all of their power to destroy the moon, but that was what they were paid to do, so they were going to do it. Kurama and Naruto hated the moon anyway since it reminded them of the 10 tails. At Cait Shelter. Wow! Look over there! Sting yelled as the three children and cats watched a flaming sky drill head for the moon and destroy it. What the hell kind of mission did Master have? Rogue asked as he dropped his usual act. Their master destroying the moon was strange even for them, and it encouraged his thoughts that he picked the right person to train under. What makes you think Master Naruto did that? Lecter the cat asked as he read his tiny book. Carla and Frosh gave him deadpan looks. Even they could tell that the only person both dumb and strong enough to destroy the moon was the future master of Cait's shelter. Rabal had made an announcement that in a few months he would be leaving Naruto in charge. Naruto. Wendy thought and worried for her secret crush. Then they all heard a voice. Wow, your master must be powerful if he could destroy the moon. I at first came here for a good fight, but now I want to stay here and learn about love from your master. The young girl said. Her age was even younger than Wendy, and she was wearing rags torn from battle, and her hair was a mess. Ha, as if you can defeat master. Who do you think you are? Sting asked with a grin. The very idea that someone could defeat Naruto was like saying an ant could defeat a dragon. Heh, nice to meet you. My name is, with the fairies. Holy crap! Lucy yelled as a huge beam-like attack from the nearby village destroyed the moon. Natsu and Gray had their jaws dropped at the familiar signature of the power. That was the exact same signature that Naruto guy gave off. 1 minute they were fighting some guy from Gray's past over some giant chunk of ice with a demon in it, and now when they turned the people they were fighting had run away in anger. The curse they placed over the island to make the moon drip was gone, so they could not release the demon anymore. That and they had no idea where Sherry was. Damn you whoever you are. I will get stronger and find you, and then I will crush you for taking my revenge from me. One lion thought in anger as he and his group made plans to return to their guild Lamia scale. I want to fight Naruto now more than ever. Natsu yelled as he got over his funk. Happy flew next to him and landed on his head. But you would lose, Natsu. Happy chirped happily, with Altair. That power is amazing. If I can get you to help me bring back Zirf-sama, then we can make a perfect world. Even without Zirf-sama I will have you and we can make a perfect world together. Recent mage and ace of Cait's shelter Naruto Uzumaki. Your power will be mine to command. A dark, straw-haired girl with a dark smirk thought as she left to go tell her master about a new way to get to Zirf the Dark Mage. With Naruto and Kurama, damn am I tired. I think I am nearly at empty now. What about you, Kurama? Naruto asked through his panting. Naruto had a smile on his face at his newest accomplishment. Seriously? Who could say they destroyed the moon? That was amazing. Let's do it again. Kurama yelled before he realized there was only one moon and they just destroyed it. They both noticed the crying villagers, and smiled at the joyful tears that fell from their eyes. Naruto looked and saw a demonized Bobo coming down from the sky and getting hugged by the leader of the village. Hey brat, look, a demon tree. Can we keep him? Kurama asked as they saw a small creepy tree with a face on it, and claw-like twigs. Sure, but you have to take care of it. Naruto said without even thinking about it. He really needed a nap right about now. Young man, is there anything we can do to repay you for the great deed you have done for us? Mocha asked as the demonized old man smiled to him. Pay me, and maybe give me a place to sleep for the night. Also my fox buddy wants that tree as a pet, Naruto said before he sat up and let a little of the Eternano in the air fill his magic reserves up. It was amazing that he did not have to worry about turning into a toad anymore, since the extra energy he absorbed would fill his magic reserves. Alright lad, we will have your money and key ready in the morning. We have no use for all that money anyway. The demon said with a chuckle. Thanks, I am going to pass out now. Naruto said as he passed out backwards and landed on Kurama, knocking him out too. He had no idea what was going to come tomorrow when Kurama's prediction came true, and they both met with a very annoying redhead. Such a powerful young lad. I can't wait to see how strong he becomes in the future. Bobo said as his father Mocha nodded in agreement. It was only once in 100 years you met a person that was literally born into the role of a powerhouse. The last time it happened was when Zirf was born, and that was hundreds of years ago. Powerful indeed. Mocha repeated as he left to go prepare the award. Next day, wake up Naruto! Kurama yelled as he dive-bombed Naruto in the stomach at full speed, jolting Naruto awake. Kurama, you bastard! I was having the dream where I was being fed ramen by naked women while swimming in a hot tub of ramen. Oh, the hot and naked goodness, Naruto said as drool escaped his mouth. I don't understand why you like small-chested girls, when big-breasted ones are so much better. I saw that and dream you were having, and it would have been much better if it had that Tsunade brat and the Mizukage woman instead of Wendy and that Levi girl, Kurama said as Naruto shrugged. Levi was a full year older than him, and Wendy was only a little younger. He had no idea why he liked the small-chested girls. Hey, Aries and Virgo were in the dream too, and they have big boobs. Naruto said as he remembered part of it he forgot. Yeah, but the one you were riding was that Levi girl. Kurama deadpanned. Then they both heard a cough and saw 4 blushing mages next to his bed. Are you talking about the Levi from Fairy Tail? The red head of the group said as a sword appeared in her hand and she aimed it at his throat. Wendy had told her that the only female redhead from Fairy Tail was named Urza, so this must be her. Hell yeah. That girl has a rocking personality and smoking body. Now put the sword away, little girl, or you might get hurt, Naruto said as he flared his killing intent. Urza was not used to people standing up to her and backed away a few steps in fear. She could not believe a boy 4 years younger than her had that kind of killing intent, or the power to destroy the moon. She had seen that display on the boat rise over here. Fight me! Natsu yelled to Naruto, but was ignored by the blonde boy. Natsu was not worth the effort it took. Maybe after he beat Kurama then he would fight him. No. Beat Kurama in a fight and then we'll see, but until then you aren't on my list of people worth fighting, Naruto said as he felt his mood lighten up when Natsu charged at the fox and got smacked away by one of his tails. Naruto-san. I was wondering if you would let me see your celestial key spirits, Lucy asked, and she tried what most would say was a sexy pose and Naruto was totally unaffected by it. Lucy, I have seen people who have bigger breasts than both you and Armor Girl combined. Sex appeal will not work on me, Naruto said plainly as Lucy dropped to the ground in shock and curled up into a ball. Her charm had failed on a 16-year-old. Gray chuckled at her before he asked his own question. So how long have you been this strong? Gray asked Naruto with a serious expression. Don't really know. I got this strong after the war in my home country on the other side of the world. It was pretty bad, but I killed the bastard in the end and decided that it would be nice to go to a different country for the rest of my life. The people in this country are very physically weak compared to my people, and your magic is very thin compared to ours. I was the most powerful man in my country, and now that I am here I am really disappointed in the mages here, Naruto said as the fairy tale mages either glared at him or looked at him sadly for going to war. You should never kill anyone. It's wrong, Urza said with a glare. This man used his magic to wipe out whole towns at a time, and killed hundreds of people. It was either him, or everyone in the world. This man was a demented psychopathic killer, and was going to make every person his slaves using a worldwide illusion. He needed to die, Naruto said, making sure to make it look like he was from this world. Naruto saw Urza flinch at the slave comment, and figured she must be a slave. It does not make killing right, Gray said this time as Naruto rolled his eyes. I know that, but where I come from we are raised from a young age to kill the enemies of our villages. I don't like killing, but none of you have seen your comrades die right in front of you, or had your best friend try to kill you. Kurama here was a slave for over 100 years, just because he was different, Naruto said as Kurama glared at the red-headed girl, who flinched back from the rage in Kurama's eyes. He really hated redheads. Urza narrowed her eyes before sighing. She was not going to gain any ground with Naruto. That matter to the side. I was wondering if you would be willing to come to Fairy Tail for a visit and meet our master, and Levi has not stopped talking about you every time you call her on a communication lacrima? Urza asked before Naruto looked down sadly. Sorry, but I need to rebuild my guild building, gain funds, and train my students. I don't have the time to go with you all. I was already suing it by going on this mission, though you guys are welcome to come to Cait's shelter with your master and Levi-chan. Naruto looked at the table next to the bed and saw his payment and the golden key. Picking up the key he tossed it at Lucy's head and smacked her dead center in the face. Take that. I have no use for it, and I am happy with Aries and Virgo. You need it way more than I do, Naruto commented after seeing her pathetic muscle tone. Wendy had a much stronger body than this girl. Naruto picked up the bag of cash next and slung it over his shoulder. He and Kurama were about to leave when he turned his head. I have 3 things to say to you all before I go. First, since you have no other business of this island, be sure to take Tai-Hat scroll and leave. It has the still living body of that girl in it. Just channel magic into it, and she will come out. 2. Tell Levi that I would like to go on a date with her sometime. Finally, this one is to you, Lucy. If I catch you misusing your keys, I will take them from you, Naruto said before Kurama glared at Urza and they left. They had one last thing they wanted to do on this island. Kurama had told him that he had explored and found a demon covered in ice, but when he touched the ice he found out it was actually a powerful woman. He did not know her name or her story, but that did not matter. Naruto was going to revive the barely living ice woman. Chapter end. Story start. Naruto and Kurama were both standing in front of a very large ice spell better known as Ice Shell, a spell that used the user's life force and sealed away both the user and its target into ice made from the body of the user, while keeping them in a semi-alive state. Naruto slapped Kurama on the back of his head when he was about to spit fire at it. That would just end up killing her, so how are we going to get her out of there? Kurama asked as Naruto sat down and started to enter Sage mode. He felt out the ice and found that it was sucking the life force out of the demon, and that it was nearly finished with its job. The moment it finished was when the girl in there would die. First I need to restore her life force with my healing magic, otherwise she will die anyway. From what I can sense she is also missing her leg, or at least it was injured, Naruto said as he let some of the gathered Eternano he had flow through the ice. It greedily sucked it up until it had taken away Naruto's Sage mode. Naruto huffed from the exhaustion from going into Sage mode before he regained his breath. Okay, that was a start. Bad idea on my part, but a good start, Naruto thought as he felt the ice woman regain a small portion of the power she took. Naruto felt the ice try and suck up Kurama before he was tossed back. Damn ice, trying to suck up my fluffy greatness, Kurama said before Naruto sent him a chuckle. For a fox, Kurama really was not very fluffy, and the only part even remotely fluffy was his tails. Sky Dragon's healing, Naruto said calmly as he placed the glowing palm on the ice and restored her main life force, while making sure to keep the energy away from the demon. It would not do to give that thing new life when it was so close to death. Naruto did not want to be responsible for releasing a demon. He was already lucky that the moon he destroyed did not really change anything on the planet, since the Eternano in the air kept everything the same. The only change was the fact that now instead of a moon the spot it had been now had stars in its place. Kurama just found it funny that he was considered the reincarnation of the sage that made him, and he destroyed a moon when the original sage of six paths created the moon on his world. Naruto felt a shift in the ice as the area his hand was touching got darker, and he could see the magic in the ice slowly moving to the location of his hand and piece themselves together in the shape of an adult female's body. The body was missing her left leg, but not to a fatal extent. She would need a prosthetic limb if this worked, but that was not too bad. If he and Wendy worked together with another healing mage it might be possible to grow her a new one. Naruto was just not smart enough to correctly grow body parts. Naruto felt the pull on his power get thicker as he stopped moving and allowed Eternano to enter his system again and add to the healing. The magic collected more as flesh started forming on the outside of the ice. Like she was coming out of the ice itself. Don't lose focus, Naruto, or the woman will die. Naruto thought as her head fully came out and was hanging limply, but her breath was there, so that was good. Naruto blushed when he realized his hand was where her chest was going to come out, and was about to take his hand off before he remembered that would kill her. Kurama breathed a stream of fire on the ground in front of the ice. The rising heat will be good for her at this point. Stop after a minute or two, Naruto stated as he and Kurama kept working. He could feel his arming burning up from the prolonged combination of sage arts and healing. He grit his teeth and withstood the pain as parts of his arms started to turn red from the stress and bearing he was putting himself through. Naruto knew that he was stressing his body by combining two very different arts, and he stressed it further when he added chakra to the mix. He watched as her leg reformed in the ice, and he guessed that the three mixing energies were making her a copy of her lost leg. That was not the only thing it was doing. Since Naruto was connected to her, he could feel chakra pathways forming in her reforming body. Her body was about halfway out of the ice when Naruto blushed at her full nudity. He guessed that he could not make clothes out of ice, either that or she was naked before she used her spell to seal the demon in the ice. Kurama had already finished his job and was playing his new pet demon tree. Naruto rolled his eyes at Kurama, but did not blame him. Kurama hated humans that weren't Naruto, and he had just started warming up to Naruto's 3 students. She's crowning. Kurama joked, but Naruto took a deep breath and sent him flying out of the cave and down the stairs with a breath of wind. H had just gotten to the top of her breasts, and shifted his hand so it would be dead center to her body without taking it off the statue. The red stops in his arm had torn open slightly, and his red life-giving liquid was being spilt on the ground. Naruto ignored it in favor of slowing the healing process. He was at the most difficult part of the healing, and he needed to take his time, or he might make her heart explode. Thump thump. Naruto heard the sound of her heart beating strongly and smiled. He was taking a certain joy in hearing the fact she was going to be okay, but he frowned as he was hit with another wave of anger. This island was so corrupted that it was making him angrier the longer he stayed here. His sage training made him much more in tune with nature, and the anger that Sairya had was like poison to his attitude. He snapped out of his thought when she started coughing and opened her eyes. Her arms and half her body was still in the ice, but she was awake again. I'm alive? The woman asked as Naruto looked awkward. Healing a nude girl when she was sleeping was one thing, but healing an awake one made him feel like a molester. Don't move too much, lady. If you don't want to be cut in half, don't move and let me finish reviving you, Naruto ordered as she looked at him curiously, taking note of how he was avoiding looking down. That was when she noticed she was naked, and his hand was on her heart touching her breast. Did you know a little boy named Gray? The woman asked sadly. She had no idea how long she was sealed, and for all she knew it could have been thousands of years. She was surprised she was even awake, but was not unhappy. The pure loneliness she felt in that ice was torture. The only Gray I know joined Fairy Tail a while back, and has recently left this island. You have been out of this world for a while, lady. You are really lucky, because you only had about 3 more days before you kicked the bucket. Anyway, Gray has gotten some nice friends to back him up. You would be proud of your son, Naruto said as the woman laughed lowly. I am Gray's magic teacher, not his mother. If he has found a nice guild to be part of, I am happy for him. Said as Naruto smiled. The bond between a master and pupil was akin to family, even if they did not want to admit it. So what are you going to do when I get you out of here? Naruto said as he made sure to keep his eye on the progress he was making. He had just gotten to the belly button, and from here on he would need to make sure that he watched so he did not screw up an artery and make her bleed out. Well, the first thing I would do is go stargazing and watch the moon again, said before she noticed Naruto's sheepish look. You might want to think of something else. Last night I destroyed the moon on accident. Have you thought of anything else? Why don't you join Fairy Tail since Gray is there? Naruto asked as shook her head to clear her ears. She could believe it, but it was pretty impressive to hear it. She could feel the overflowing power he had in his as it flowed into her. Mavrov and I have unpleasant history, and I have some views that are against the guild code. That and Gray does not need me to look after him anymore, so it would be best that I go to a different guild. Speaking of which, you have a very odd guild stamp on your stomach. What guild do you belong to? You are asked as a hint of pink dusted her cheeks. Naruto had abs that full-grown men would kill for, and he was only 16 if she had to guess. Cait Shelter, and I can accept you as a member if you want. The guild master will be leaving me the guild when he dies in a few months, so he left who gets to join to me. Cait Shelter will never turn down a legal mage that has nowhere to go, and right now we only have me and 3 12-year-old kids. I am sure you would fit right in, and once I rebuild the guild you could even have your own room in the guild. Naruto offered as Ur thought it over. It sounded very nice, and if she joined the guild she could watch the kids of the guild grow and take part in their lives. Maybe even teach them a thing or two about magic. Tell me a little more about yourself and I might consider it. Ur said as she tested to see if he would give her information. She would not be with a guild that kept secrets. I guess that's fair. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I was born in a country that I need to keep the location of secret for reason I can't tell you. I left on terms that aren't ideal. I came to this country recently and joined Cait Shelter about 2 or so months ago after killing a dragon. I am wearing the scales of that dragon right now. I use Sky Dragon Slayer magic and 2 lost magic that my people used. Lost magic, ninjutsu and chakra, and I am what my people call a sage, a man that is linked with nature and can call on its strength to aid my own. I mastered this art to a level that surpassed my old perverted master, who was like the family I never had. My best friend is a demon of S-class strength that hates humans that aren't personally vouched for by me. My dream is to make Cait Shelter the best guild in the world, and then rebuild my clan and rebuild my village in this country. Naruto answered as honestly as he could, while telling half-truths. What are chakra and ninjutsu? Ur asked in confusion. She had heard and read about over 400 different kinds of magic, and had never even seen a mention of either of those. Chakra is the more powerful version of magic. While magic is made from your body filling your Eternano container with Eternano, chakra is made inside the body by natural combining both physical and spiritual energy, and has many uses, one of which is called ninjutsu, the art of manipulating chakra into the form you want. In the average case chakra is 3 times more potent than magic, but in my case it is 20 times more potent. It can actually be used to power magic items as well, Naruto said as Ur listened with an extremely interested look on her face. Do you know any other magic types? Ur asked excitedly. Naruto looked down in embarrassment. Not really. My Eternano container is only capable of producing my Sky Dragon Slayer magic for some weird reason. The only other thing I have is 2 of the golden celestial keys, but I power them using my chakra and not magic, so I don't count it as magic. Naruto said sheepishly. I have heard of that happening before in other cases, so I guess you have yourself a new guild member. Ur said nicely as Naruto looked to see how far he was. He was about an inch from her crotch and could see that she was a clean-shaven woman. I do wonder how the council is going to take you getting rid of the moon? Ur asked herself as Naruto laughed. They will likely send me an invitation to join the Wizard Saints, and I have broken no rules. The person that requested this mission asked me to get rid of the moon, and the council are very fond of my way of doing things. If they are as corrupt as I think they may be, they are going to try and get me into a position of power to scare the other guilds into acting right. This world is run by Eternano, so the moon won't even be missed in the first place. Also I caused no property damage, and now there are more stars in the sky, so this will increase my popularity. They already know that I am in full control of my power, unlike my fellow ace guildarts of Fair Tail. Naruto said, fully confident he was right. This council was to MUC like his old one in Konoha, and he knew how to get around them easily enough. You sound sure of yourself there. Ur commented as she covered her exposed breasts and womanhood. Now all that was left were her legs, and the process would be complete. I have dealt with these kinds of people. Also, once they find out that people can use the moon to make moon drip and unseal demons, they will be glad that I destroyed it, Naruto said as Ur felt the confidence roll off of him. Then she felt something fill her body that was not supposed to be there. I feel stronger, Ur said as she felt the side effect of her special unfreezing. That's because you now, unlike other mages, also have chakra in your body. Since I had to make parts of your body from scratch, I needed to infuse you with my chakra, and now your body will make its own. I will train you in how to use it later on, Naruto said with a shrug. Sounds interesting, Ur said with a shrug of her own. Then she felt herself fall forward and being caught by Naruto. Ur was free once again. Different location. I be leaving them bitches in stitches, and the Nino has once again shown to be fino. Killer be rapped as he made his way to the next town he was going to explore. He would find Naruto again after he had gotten some tasty new rhymes. He knew his foxy buddy was the one responsible for destroying the moon. The man that broke the moon will make the ladies swoon. With Naruto, thanks for the clothes, Ur said as she wore something identical to what Aries usually wore. Naruto was not about to have her wear some of Virgo's clothes. That would have been too embarrassing for them both. Her clothes were all maid and slave-based. I can't take you back to the guild if you are naked. That and my coat won't really hide anything on you, Naruto pointed out with a slightly perverted smile. Ur just shook her head at the usual display of teenage hormones. It was nice to see one part of him as normal. What she did not know was that Naruto showing his mature side was pretty rare. It would if you actually wore a shirt under your clothes. You are stated as Naruto shrugged. He liked how the wind blew against his chest, and he never had that comfort as a ninja. How are we getting off of this island anyway? You are asked as they made it to the beach. Naruto pointed to a weird-looking fox with 9 tails waiting for them. You owe me a whole cow for carrying you both. Kurama said as Yar jumped back from the freaky talking fox. That was something she did not see every day. We have 700 million jewels now. Getting you a cow will be easy after we rebuild the guild, Naruto said as he watched Kurama extend 2 of his tails and wrap them around the 2 of them. Kurama grew 2 large bat wings and they took off. This is amazing. Yar yelled at her first time flying. Kurama puffed his chest out on pride, only for him to deflate a moment later with what Naruto said. Too bad he sucks at landings. Naruto stated slyly as his attitude FOT better the farther away they were from the island. 7 hours later, Cait's shelter. By the end of the trip, Kurama was on the ground panting from the stress of carrying 2 grown people, and the second he caught part of his breath he ran to his and Naruto's room. Turns out that after being stuck together for so long they could not stand to be in separate rooms, or they had trouble sleeping. You do know that his whole place is an illusion, don't you? You are asked with a deadpan. Naruto nodded to her with a smile. Yeah, but the kids don't know that. This is way I place to rebuild it now, so that when the old man croaks the guild will still be around. I already replaced the guild stamp so that when he dies they won't disappear. Naruto said as Yar looked pleased at the well-thought-out plan. That sounds good, but how big are we talking? Yar asked as she looked around. In the distance she heard the sounds of roaring and cursing. I would like the guild to become housing for the guild members so big enough to room 200 people, while the downstairs would serve as a place to hang out and get missions. Naruto said as Yar raised a gentle eyebrow. Naruto turned to where the sounds of roaring was coming from and took a deep breath. Alright maggots front and center, Naruto yelled as the sounds of running could be heard and 4 kids came to them. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the pink-haired girl with the spiky pigtails and blue eyes. She looked like a younger version of the girl he captured. Okay, I have no idea who you are, but that can wait. Everyone meet Yar, our newest guildmate, Sting and Rogue. From now on she will be taking you guys on missions if you ask her to nicely. From now on the 3 of you will be Team Frost Balance until you are ready to go on missions on your own. Naruto said as Yar waved hello to the group. On the way over they had talked and Yar said she would be glad to lead Sting and Rogue until they were ready to go off on their own. It was not fair to them when he went on missions to stay behind. That and he was already the leader of Team Roaring Lions / Team Foxy Bastards. Don't that I am also helping with training. Yar said as Naruto chuckled. He had heard about her training on the way over and he felt sorry for the boys not really since it was not as painful as his training, just embarrassing. Why can't you just train us alone, master? Sting asked as Naruto raised an eyebrow. Yar will be teaching you how to combat against someone that does not use dragon slaying magic. I won't always be your opponent, you know, and you need experience in fighting people other than me. Naruto said as the 2 dropped the issue. Naruto turned to the newer girl and she waved happily at him. Hi. I am Kelia Blendy, nice to meet you. Kelia said that the 9-year-old girl walked forward, but tripped over a small rock and slammed into the ground. Naruto looked over at Wendy and decided to make a joke. Well, would you look at that, Wendy's clumsiness is contagious. Bad Wendy. Naruto said as he blocked a kick from Kelia with his elbow, and caused her to hold her foot in pain. You're good. Let me join Cait's shelter? Kelia asked with a childish smile. Naruto made sure not to mention that almost everyone above B class could have easily stopped that. He was impressed at the strength she had at 9, about C class at the moment. Okay then Kelia, then you can come with me and Yar when we get her stamp done. Then we can throw a party to welcome Yar and Kelia into our ranks, Naruto said as he walked away with the 2, leaving a cheering Sting and smiling Wendy while Rogue had a smirk on his face. Carla smiled at what she hoped would be a good female influence on Wendy, while the other 2 talking cats were sleeping back to back. Never a dull moment when Master is involved. Sting said with a laugh that Wendy and Rogue shared to certain degrees. Wendy giggled lightly, and Rogue snorted with a smile. They had no idea how evil their training would be from this day forth. Chapter end. Story start. Alright brats, come at me with everything you have. Try to kill me or you won't even scratch me. Naruto ordered the 4 kids as they all prepared for a tough beatdown. They weren't about to call what was going to happen a fight. That implied it could go either way. This was a man beating the hell out of 4 kids. An amused Yar was watching from the sidelines, with her new guild mark showing on her left forearm and white with a blue outline. Kelia had gotten hers in lime green on her right leg. Kurama sat on Yar's lap shaking in anticipation for the beatdown that was about to go down, while the cats were tied up by rope to stop them from helping their friends. Naruto reached into his pocket, and all 4 kids flinched back and got into fighting stances. Then they felt honestly insulted when Naruto did the same thing Kakashi did to him and pulled out a book. Naruto opened the book to the first page and looked at a picture of mages in fairy tale, and their weaknesses. Why are you reading, Master? Rogue asked with narrowed eyes. So that I can get to the end of the book. It won't be like any of you can hit me anyway, so I can afford to hold a lot back. Consider this a handicap I am giving you, Naruto said with a smile. Light drive, / shadow drive, Sting and Rogue yelled as they gained more scales and were covered in their magic power. Light power covered Sting while shadows flowed off of Rogue. Arms X armor X vernier. Wendy yelled as she boosted everyone's power, defense, and speed by ×4. They all glowed a soft purple and ran forward. Sting and Rogue ran at Naruto from both his right and left side. Light Dragon's Iron Fist / Shadow Dragon's Iron Fist. The two boys yelled as they extended their fists in an attempt to hit him. Naruto hopped up in mid and then kicked them both in the faces while doing mid-air splits. He used his knee to block a black wind-covered fist and spun around and hit Kelia in the chin with his other knee. All three were sent flying and Naruto landed on the ground in the exact same position as before. Then he turned the page just to mock him. Powerful, your love makes this an amazing battle, Kelia said as Naruto raised his eyebrow. That was the exact opposite of when Gaara was insane and had a self-love obsession. Kelia took a deep gulp of air and he heard her muttering. Sky gods bellow. She yelled as she sent a black version of Wendy and his roars at him. Naruto raised his bare foot and blocked it with the bottom of it. Naruto used his foot and spun around to redirect the attack to Sting, who had been charging at him, and knocked the boy back. He tilted his head to the left before he landed on the ground and Rogue went over him. Doing a flip in midair, he kicked Rogue in the face and sent him back where he came from. Right after that he landed back in his starting position, in the exact same spot. Kelia panted from the attack, but ate some air to regain what was lost. Sky Dragon's Roar. Wendy yelled as she sent her own attack at him only for him suck it up and eat it himself. She sweat dropped and went to go heal Sting, since in a battle against Naruto she was nearly useless. He could eat her attacks, while she was not strong enough to do the same to his. Shadow Dragon's Roar. Rogue yelled as he sent a shadow-based roar at Naruto, who raised his leg and kicked the attack and dispelled it. Sting appeared behind Naruto after being healed by, but when he tried to attack Naruto jumped up and stomped both his feet into the boy's back. Naruto spun on his heels and the boy was sent at Rogue. You guys are going to have to do better than that. I have not moved from this spot or used my hands yet, Naruto said as he leaned back to avoid a fist from Kelia. She sent another fist at him, and he ducked and gave her a headbutt to the chin. Naruto smirked and turned to the next page in his book while he bent backwards to narrowly dodge a kick from Kelia before she was fully sent flying into Wendy. Shadow Light Sky Dragon's Roar / Sky God's Bellow. All four of them yelled as they teamed up to send him their unity raid. Naruto wondered what they were going to call it, and got his answer as the attack came at him. Naruto had his eyes widened at the power behind the attack. Their attacks had each increased by ×10, and multiply that ×4 and add in the fact that it was potent, and you had an attack that Naruto would have to take slightly seriously. Unity Raid, Belch of the Dragon God. They yelled as Naruto stored his book in his pocket, and used his right hand to grab the attack. He felt it sting his hand slightly, and he was secretly impressed at their S-class attack they made. The force behind the attack was enough to force his feet back an inch before it disappeared. It had taken nearly all their combined magic to make that attack and they were disappointed to see Naruto completely unharmed to the naked eye. Are we still in need of a handicap master? Rogue said slyly, before he paled at the power rolling off of Naruto. Damn it, Rogue, of all the things to said when you talk back to him. Sting said as he was the smart one for once. I guess I should take this up a notch then. Naruto said as he crossed his hands in AT shape and 3 clones appeared at his side. They all disappeared from view and reappeared in front of the kids and had their fists in their guts. They each coughed up blood and were sent flying holding their stomachs. The Narutos vanished from blurred to where they were going to land next with weakened Raisengans in their hands. Once the kids got to them they ducked under the bodies and sent the moves in their backs, forcing them spinning and in the air before they were kicked down. Damn it! That hurt! Sting yelled as the others moaned in pain and tried to stand up. Once they had all stood up they noticed Naruto was gone. Sky Dragon Slayer's 4,000 Years of Death. Naruto yelled as he put his hands in the tiger seal and all 4 of them covered their hands with chakra, while the original did it with wind and chakra. They each then shoved their fingers up the butts of each person they were behind. The clones got behind the Sting, Rogue, and Kelia while Naruto himself got Wendy. Ah! The 4 yelled as they were sent flying holding their butts. You are blushed from her spot at the most perverted attack she had ever seen, and how effective it was in battle. She then winced when the 4 Narutos hopped in the air behind the kids with their hands in the tiger seals again. 8,000 Years of Death. Naruto yelled as he gave them all super ass pokes again and sent them to the ground, but they were stopped by 4 more clones with their hands in the tiger seal. 16,000 Years of Death. They were sent flying back into the air to Naruto and his airborne clone who kept their hands in ass poke position. 32,000 Years of Death. They yelled as tears rolled down the faces of the kids from humiliation, and they were back at the ground clones who continued the cycle. 64,000 Years of Death. They yelled one last time before poofing. When the mages were in the air this time Naruto and his clones pulled back all their legs and crashed their feet into the butt cheeks of the young fighters. Finishing move. Ass stomping spank of death. The Narutos yelled before all but the original poofed and the kids finally hit the ground with their hands on their butts. He had made that move by combining the Hyuga clan's 64 palms with the 1,000 Years of Death, and he was glad to see it was a success. He could not have asked for better test subjects. Ha 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 ha. Kurama cracked up as he fell off of UR and hit the ground and kept laughing. That was either the most dangerous move on the planet, or the dumbest. Only Naruto had ever made that move dangerous before. Was that really needed? UR asked with a blush. She hoped he never used that attack on her. It was bad enough seeing it. That, and she could see smoke coming from the young mage's butts. Absolutely, they need to learn Noi to antagonize people that can put their asses through the grinder, if you will. Naruto said as he and Kurama burst out laughing again. Only they got the inside joke between them. They should have been watching their asses. Kurama gulped out through his laughter, and the two started having trouble breathing at the double meaning. UR tried to hold in her laughing when she caught the meaning, but she failed and fell down just like Naruto and Kurama. The kids woke up and glared at them all, though if one would look closely you would see the two girls with small non-anger related blushes. Naruto looked at the group and sighed. Suck it up. The same thing was done to me when I was your age, and the one that did it to me had it done to him when he was half your age. It is a teaching tradition, Naruto said, leaving out that normally it was just a powerful ass point. Not an attack like he used it. Yeah, don't get all but hurt over it. UR said as the three of them lost it again and fell to the ground once more. It was too much for the kids to take, so they all stormed off as a group back to the guild. The cats wiggled out of their rope and flew over to their respective kid, while Kurama was not looking. He was too busy trying not to die from laughing, and failing since he was gasping for air now. That was huff an awesome joke UR. Naruto complimented as they stopped laughing. The occasional chuckle would still escape one of them every once in a while, but for the most part they were over it. Thanks. It was worth it, UR said with a chuckle. Master. They heard as they saw Sting running forward with Naruto's video lacrima in his hands. You have a call from some weird lady with white hair, Sting yelled as he handed him the orb and ran the hell out of there before Naruto realized that he was in his room. Are you Naruto-san? A white-haired girl with her hair up in the front asked sadly. Naruto was just wondering how she got his orb and hers connected. Yes, but who are you? Naruto asked as Kurama peeked over his shoulder. I'm Mary Jane Strauss. I am a guildmate of Levi McGarden, and you were on her list of friends, so I thought you would like to know that Levi-chan has been sent to the hospital from an attack on our guild, Mary Jane said as Naruto narrowed his eyes, and anger coursed through him. Why are you telling me this? Naruto asked the white-haired girl. We need help, and we have nobody else to turn to. Please Naruto-san, help us. Mary Jane asked as Naruto turned off the lacrima without answering. Naruto turned on his heel and walked briskly past UR. She glanced at him and knew what they were going to do. Cait Shelter was going to war. Fairy Tail, 5 hours later. No Urza, you can't stop it. One of the many guild members of Fairy Tail yelled as Urza ran in front of the Jupiter blast fired from the walking guild of Phantom Lord. Using her X-Quip she changed from her towel into her strongest defensive armor. The only armor she had that could take a blast from a Jupiter cannon. I have to. For Fairy Tail. Urza yelled as the blast neared them, and she closed her eyes for a split second. She heard everyone gasp and opened her eyes and saw a black coat-wearing boy with an arm out blocking the Jupiter blast, and from his face she would guess he was pissed off. On his back was a 9-tailed fox, and next to him was a woman she had never seen before. Play Naruto soundtrack Heavy Violence. Naruto stood in front of the attack with a single thought in mind: protect Levi. Her guildmates were behind him, and he would not let this blast hit them. They were lucky he was able to make it in time. Impossible! One of the guild members yelled at what they were seeing. A boy that looked like he was 16 was stopping a Jupiter blast one-handed. A feat they only thought guildarts would be able. Once the blast cleared, Team Natsu saw the whiskered cheeks of the person that destroyed the moon. That and the scales that were covering parts of his body, showing he was pissed enough to activate Dragon Force. Naruto! Lucy yelled as Naruto barely gave her a glance. Gray was more concerned with the fact his old teacher UR was alive, and not ice anymore. UR had a fierce look on her face as she took up an ice make stance. Ice make! Rose Garden! UR shouted as the giant Phantom Lord guild stopped moving as the powerful ice stopped it in its tracks. Gray knew then that this was UR, but what was she doing with Naruto? Hear my voice, Phantom Lord. I am Naruto Uzumaki, Slayer of Dragons, Breaker of the Moon, Ace of Cait Shelter. You hurt my friend Levi, today you pay, Naruto yelled as his voice was amped up by his magic as blew a few people a few steps back. By this point over 80% of the moving guild was frozen by UR. Why are you helping us? This is not your guild, Urza said in the moment of shocked silence. Naruto's angry eyes turned to her. I don't care what happens to your guild, but Levi-chan is my friend. I care about my friends, and those that hurt them go down. Now Kurama, let's go kick some ass, Naruto yelled as Kurama stretched out his wings and the two flew up to the top floor of the freezing guild, leaving behind a very surprised guild. Now I'm all fired up. Happy, come on! Natsu yelled as he and Happy flew off next, but they went towards the frozen cannon. I am not getting left out of my first battle in years, UR said as ice formed under her feet and she made a slide to the freezing guild. She looked back at Gray for a second and smiled kindly before turning back to the matters at hand. I'm coming too, Gray yelled after her as he hitched a ride on her ice. Don't leave a man out, a large man named Elfman yelled as he hopped on the ice after them. Urza silently followed, but was weary of Fairy Tail's new allies. With Naruto and Kurama landed in a room full of mages and they all looked like they were ready to battle him. Naruto broke the arms of the first one that attacked, and they all scattered at the fact he was pouring killing intent out of him at rates even demons could not compete with. Naruto raised his hand and blocked a nearly unseen wind-based attack with his hand. How sorrowful that such a young man must die by my hand, a large blindfolded man said before he gasped and fell to the ground. The Naruto in front of him vanished in a puff of smoke and the Naruto behind him had blood dripping from his hands. He glared down at the dying man in contempt. How sorrowful that you thought you could fight me with such a gentle breeze, Naruto said as he turned and walked away. Once he had gotten far enough away he snapped his fingers and the wind-natured chakra he was controlling cut the man into pieces. The ground around Naruto shook with each step he took. This was not the person he was looking for. He was going to find the guild master of this place and destroy him. The only times guilds were allowed to kill was when they were going against the Dark Guild. Sending that Jupiter cannon at a town filled with people they labeled themselves as a Dark Guild. Naruto felt someone hug him, and when he turned he saw a happy gray with tears of joy in his eyes. You told me you were the one that saved her life, so I just wanted to thank you, he said quickly as he let go of Naruto. Hug me again and see what happens, Naruto said lowly as he went back to looking for the guild master of this place. He must have been the one to order his lackeys to hurt his friend. Gray backed off and went to fight another opponent. Ua was already taking care of the weird water woman so he would go deal with some of the minor mages. After a few minutes of walking Naruto felt only 2 enemies left in the building, and while his sensor was not as great as Kurama's or Kurama's tree apparently he was still a great sensor. He felt Natsu fighting one while that Urza woman was going after the other. The one Urza is fighting is about as powerful as Ua is, maybe a little weaker. If I use my magic this whole place will shatter, so shinobi skills it is, Naruto thought with a smirk. He had one new move he was dying to try out anyway, and he was going to try it out. Naruto pulled a kunai from his pocket and walked up a set of stairs. The kunai was his father's Hiraishin. His father may have been the Yellow Flash, but Naruto was going to be even faster than that. With Ur. Could you say that again? Ur asked in disbelief. 1 minute this girl was trying to kill her, and now after freezing her and beating her this Juvia girl was coming on to her. Please be Juvia's girlfriend Ur-sama? Juvia asked from her position on the ground. Sorry, but I'm straight, Ur said with a blush. Sure, lesbians had come on to her before, but this girl was being a little too extreme. It does not matter to Juvia if you are with a man Juvia likes, just that you are Juvia's girlfriend, Juvia said in the third person. Ur backed away from her, seeing as the look in her eyes was a little no very creepy. Juvia is willing so share you with one person, but Juvia gets in bed with Ur-sama first, Juvia said as she crawled towards Ur, and the woman made like a smart woman and ran. Juvia will find you Ur-sama, Juvia yelled from her beaten spot on the floor, as the rain around her stopped. Crazy girl, Ur thought as she ran as fast as she could. With Levi looked sadly out her window as the battle raged on. She looked on with a depressed look and wondered why she was even in Fairy Tail anymore. Sure, it was like a big family, but she never got the chance to do anything to prove herself. Whenever she tried to fight she caused some kind of trouble for others, and she was always beaten. She had never won a fight on her own. Sometimes she wished she was more like Naruto. Then it hit her. She could go to Naruto for training on how to be strong. She stood up from the bed she was in and slowly snuck out of the hospital to head towards the one place she knew would make her strong. Cait shelter. Chapter end. Story start. Naruto looked at the beaten form of Urza Scarlet, and the laughing member of the 10 Wizard Saints, with an annoyed look. Urza, get out of here and make sure everyone clears out of the building. Things are about to get destructive in here, and I would not want for anyone to get caught in the crossfire. Go to the hospital, and tell Levi that I will see her soon, Naruto said with a fierce look. Jose laughed louder at Naruto for what he saw as arrogance. Well, it looks like you fairies have gotten a kid with some backbone. Too bad. I plan on killing you all and then destroy Magnolia Town for hosting you all. Dead wave, Jose yelled as he held a dark purple sphere in his hand, and it shot Naruto. Naruto and Urza disappeared and reappeared behind Jose, and Naruto placed a single finger on the ugly man's neck. He looked at Urza on his shoulder and saw Happy and Natsu outside the window, so he did the best thing he could think of. He tossed the red-haired girl out of a 100-story window in hopes that his fellow dragon slayer would catch her. Natsu waved at Naruto happily and Naruto sent him a thumbs up. As cold as he was to fairy tale mages, he did not really date them, but he could not afford to get too close to them right now either and be distracted from his goals. He actually kinda liked how they did things, but if he was seen hanging with them too early, the Magic Council would attempt to place some blame for things on his guild. Now that she is out of the way, I can show you who is the better out of the two of us, Naruto said as he drew his father's old Hiraishin kunai and made a Rasengan in his other hand. Jose scoffed at the very thought a 16-year-old would even have a chance against him. Play 5-fingered death poke over and under. Dead wave, Jose said as he shot another wave at Naruto. Instead of dodging, he placed both his hands on his kunai in a triangular fashion, and once the attack got to Naruto, the air around the dead wave distorted and sucked the attack up. Jose looked annoyed before he felt pain in his back. Naruto had placed the contact seal on Jose when he touched him earlier, and now all his magic would be useless against him as long as he had the kunai. How did you do that, fairy brat? Jose asked as he grit his teeth from being hit by his own attack. I don't know, why don't you figure it out yourself? Naruto said with a smirk, and in a flash of yellow he appeared behind Jose while shoving a Rasengan into his back. Naruto smirked as Jose was sent spiraling and crashed into the wall. Dark explosion. Jose growled as he swung his arm at Naruto, and the area around him exploded. When the explosion was over, Jose had his jaw loosened by the fact that Naruto was unharmed by the attack. No matter how hard you try, you can never hit me, old man. I can bend time and space to my will. You had no chance from the start, Naruto stated as he made a single shadow clone, and he started to make an upgraded version of his Rasengan. Once his wind style, Rasengan was finished, Naruto disappeared in another flash of yellow. But Jose was semi-prepared for it, and moved just enough so that he only lost his arm and not head. Death burning, Jose said as he burned his wound closed. His arm had been shredded to nothing anyway, and he would die from blood loss if he did nothing about this. Smart old man, but look at the floor under you, Naruto said as Jose looked down on instinct. Naruto took this chase to kick him in the jaw and knock a few of his teeth out. While Jose was in mid-air, Naruto flashed to him and kicked him in the gut, and then he just kept flashing in mid-air until it looked like a bunch of lights were bouncing the bloodied man in the air. Then Naruto borrowed a move from the Fouth Raikage. Liger Bomb. Naruto yelled as he stomped Jose to the ground. Damn fairy brat. Jose cursed as Naruto laughed. Old man. I am no fairy, I'm a demon, Naruto stated as his eyes changed red with slitted pupils and he was covered in a bubbling red cloak with 3 tails. Since his mother was the Jinchuriki to Kurama before him, Naruto was not just a Jinchuriki, but he was also a pseudo-Jinchuriki like the Gold and Silver brothers. That meant that he was also able to enter up to the 4 tails cloak. This was an ability he had kept secret from even Kurama and everyone else until he had mastered this power. Unlike his sealed hatred mode, he still felt hatred in this mode. Naruto sealed the kunai in his wrist storage seal and got down on all fours. The scales he got from Dragon Force made his demonic visage look much more frightening. When he was using this form, he found out that he was unable to use any jutsu other than the Rasengan, Bijudama, and his Sky Dragon's Roar. Naruto grinned as his skin began to peel away and the red cloak shrank and turned to thick to see through, and the Fouth tail grew. In this form he could only use his Bijudama and his Sky Dragon's Roar. Naruto pulled his arm back and extended it until he had punched Jose all the way back to the town. He was going to make this a public beating, and there was nothing Jose could do about it. Naruto felt his fist stop and used it to pull him to the turn as well. With the fairy tale mages and you are a few minutes ago, bastard threw me out the window. Urza growled in annoyance as she got her wounds bandaged by Mary Jane. Natsu chuckled at her, but went pale when she glared at him. Gray was talking to Yar about how his life had been so far and generally catching up. Do you guys really think the kid will be Aksei against Jose? He is a wizard saint. A member of the guild named Wakaba asked with an uncertain look. Do you remember a while back that beam of light that destroyed the moon? Gray asked as they nodded. That was all that was talked about throughout Fury, was who was responsible for destroying the moon. Well, Naruto was not lying when he bragged about being the one who did it. I was on the island with him when he did it, Gray said as the mages gulped as one. This guy just went from awesome to scary. At that very moment they all felt a very dark and twisted power. It was too potent to even consider calling it magic. Like someone had taken a beast from the deepest depths of hell and put it on Earth. Only Kurama knew what this power was and he was surprised. But then he realized that Naruto was also like the Gold and Silver brothers. The difference was that instead of being in his stomach for 2 weeks, Naruto was exposed to him for 10 months when he was in Kushina's womb. Naruto must have been training this whenever he went on missions without Kurama knowing. So that is why the brat can still heal just as fast as he used to. Well played, Naruto, Kurama thought as they all saw something arm-shaped push Jose right into the street in front of them. But then before they could do something, the hand dug its claws into the pavement, and the arm started to pull and Naruto's main body came into the street a few seconds later. The foul presence Naruto gave of actually made nearly everyone throw up that were not S-class. Naruto? You are asked, seeing his black coat and pants unaffected. Naruto looked over at her and smiled, which was even scarier than a normal smile, though few were able to tell the warmth of the true smile underneath. Heh, should have known you would be able to recognize me. You are. Now before I curb stomp this piece of trash, I would like to tell you all that I am sorry for how I treated you all. Now if you will excuse me, Naruto said semi-kindly before he scowled and picked Jose up, and people could see his skin burning on contact with Naruto. I have to be careful in this form since it also drains me of my chakra. At my current strength I can only manage 11 minutes before I run out of chakra altogether. That and this form will leave me at 1/3 strength until I recover from it, Naruto thought as he tossed Jose up in the air and stretched his arm to slam him back down to earth. The ground where the man hit crumbled under the power and Naruto sent one of his tails to slap Jose across the face. Damn, that is brutal, Gray said as his newest friend, to him at least, totally messed up Jose like swatting a fly. Natsu was too busy holding his nose from the stench of burnt flesh to point out that Gray had lost his clothes while watching the fight. Yua looked at Gray and blamed herself for giving him this habit. She wondered where she went wrong with him for about a second. Everyone flinched when two of the tails went straight through Jose's legs and left burnt closed holes in them. Jose was in so much pain he could not even scream anymore, and what little left he had of his pride would not let him. Naruto tossed Jose a few more times before getting bored with him. That and his version 2 cloak was starting to burn him more as well. That was the downside of this power since he could no purify it. It caused him both extreme pain and chakra exhaustion. That and he lost quite a bit of blood when he used this. What is going on here? A short man wearing a similar wizard saint cape as Jose questioned as he saw Naruto's form. The fact most people were frozen from either fear or eagerness was not helping the case. Nice to meet you, old man. I will explain everything after I take care of this trash, Naruto said as he tossed up Jose extremely high in the air again, and red and blue orbs came out of Naruto's body. His 4 tails pointed to his mouth as all the orbs flew together and formed the most dangerous attack a Biju could do, the Bijudama. Naruto opened his mouth wider and ate the orb of death, and his whole body bulged to incredible sizes. Steam came from his mouth as he felt the attack burning his throat slightly. Then Naruto spit the attack at Jose in the air, and the sheer wind force from the deadly technique was enough to knock everyone on their asses. The explosion rocked the sky as Kurama laughed like a madman, and Naruto felt nearly all his normal chakra disappear. His version 2 cloak faded to reveal severely burnt flesh that was already slowly healing. Though Naruto was surprised when Gray of all people came to his side and cooled down the air around his skin to numb the pain. You know you aren't that bad, Naruto said with a grin. Anybody that could still help him after seeing all that was alright with him. You saved my teacher's life, and in my book that makes you my new best friend. This is the least I can do for you, and now I can visit you whenever I come to your guild to hang out, Gray said with his signature smirk. Naruto smirked back before he put a neutral expression on his face. Then you better be prepared to work, because we are spending the next few months working on our guild building. Isn't that right you are? Naruto asked the smiling woman. She was happy that Naruto was starting to become more accepting of fairy tale. She of all people was able to understand why Naruto was a little distant to them. He did not want any of his friends to abandon Cait's shelter and go to fairy tale. She was the same way for a while after her daughter died, so he must have seen a pretty traumatic death, or had a lonely life in his old country. He did not want to become friendly with people from different guilds in case they died without him knowing and he could not help them. He was the guy that would slaughter armies for his friends, and he was also the kind of man that took his friends' deaths the hardest. Naruto was afraid he would not be able to protect his friends if he was not near them, or someone he trusted was not near them. He might even be able to admit it to himself, but she could tell. After she found Lion and Gray she clung to them, but made sure to keep it strictly student-teacher. Are you really Naruto? Makarov asked with narrowed eyes, and in his weakened state he knew that he would have to resort to magic if he wanted to beat this old man, though he gave of an aura similar to both the third and Jiraiya at the same time. Yeah, why? Naruto asked curiously as the old man smiled and pat him on the back. Well, my boy, I have been looking forward to meeting you ever since I caught some cuties doing stuff over pictures of you that have been circulating. I was wondering if you would be so kind as to come by the guild every once in a while so that the ladies will visit as well, the perverted old man said before he secretly pointed to his wizard saint badge. Naruto understood the hidden message. The council wants to make you a wizard saint and turn you into a weapon against other nations. Sure, I can stop by, but first I would need to file in my report to the council for slaying 2 dark mages today. Then I need to meet up with Levi-chan and see if she is okay, Naruto said truthfully. He felt kinda bad for killing that sorrowful guy, but he was trying to kill him and others so he would not fret over it. The old man nodded with a grimace. He knew that it was legal to kill dark mages, and the council encouraged it instead of sending them to jail where they can break free and kill more people. Even though Fairy Tail had a no-killing policy, he himself had killed a few dozen people in his day, and Mavis had ordered the death of many dark mages as well as killed some. He knew the feeling of seeing the dead or dying faces of those he killed. Even guildarts had nightmares about the old days when there were more dark guilds. Master, aren't you going to yell at him for killing those men? Urza asked loudly from her spot sitting. I cannot. What he did was not illegal, nor is it my place to lecture someone from another guild. Cait's Shelter is not a no-killing guild like us and Lanius Scale or Blue Pegasus. He was just doing what he thought was right, and is that not what any good mage does? They follow what their hearts tell them, and he protected the lives of many people today by killing. I may not approve, but I can understand at the very least, Makarov said understandingly. Out of everyone in her generation, Urza was the most adamant about the no-killing rule from her own experience with killing. I don't like it either, Natsu admitted with an unabashed look, and though he said it rudely you could see that he did not hate Naruto for it. Happy, the cat said with a smile, but I can't say that it is wrong when you are protecting something special to you, Natsu said as Naruto smiled at the guy, who knew that the hothead was understanding. I personally have no qualms about the killing, Mary Jane said, but then again half of her personality did come from a demon. She was bound to get some traits from them, even if she did not show them. Soon after that everyone from Fairy Tail showed that they had no hard feelings to Naruto for what he did. Hey Naruto. Did we leave a clone at the guild when we left? Yur asked with a confused face. The thought had just crossed her mind and they both had their eyes widened when they realized they left 2 destructive boys, with 2 powerful clumsy girls at the guild with nobody to make sure they stay out of trouble. I will head back now, and Kurama you stay with Yur until she is ready to come back. I can fly there on my own, and I have to hurry. Nice meeting you old man, and see you later Gray and Natsu. Yur, when you come back make sure that you let me know. I may need your help explaining some things to Wendy about Naruto. Trailed off, as Yur got his point. Wendy was growing up from a flat-chested girl into a possibly flat-chested woman, maybe big-breasted. Strangely enough they both had the image of an older version of Wendy joining the guild one day. You're on your own buddy, that is unless you have something I want. Yur said with a teasing grin. We are friends, not anywhere near enough to be friends with benefits. Naruto said before a nearly unseen to the naked eye wind coating covered Naruto, and he blasted off at high speeds. The trick was to make him nearly weightless, and then push a wind current from his legs for some forward motion. 4 hours later, I'm back. I am going to fucking kill you guys, Naruto said as they looked at the destroyed remains of the Illusion Guild. Rabal was chuckling at the terrified faces of the kids, and Naruto slowly walked forward to deliver some punishment. Who did this? Naruto asked as everyone blamed someone else. Wendy and Kelia blamed each other, while Rogue and Sting pointed at the 2 girls. All the cats pointed at Kelia and Wendy as well. Don't worry about the guild, Naruto-kun, you were planning on rebuilding it again anyway, weren't you? Rabal asked as Naruto grew an eye twitch. Naruto heard laughing and saw Kurama's pet demon tree laughing at the violent thoughts he was having right now. The rooms were upstairs, and until the rooms were done they would need to stay at his small wood cabin he built. It was bad enough that Yur would freeload, but now 4 kids were going to stay with their cats. Rabal, how fast do you think these kids can run? Naruto asked as Rabal thought about it. Not fast enough? Rabal joked as the kids made a break for it, only for Naruto to grab Wendy and Kelia by the backs of their shirts and hold them up. It was funny because they had their eyes closed, and were running in midair. The 2 of you are in a whole lot of trouble. Triple difficulty training until midnight, Naruto said as the 2 went limp in fear. That meant waking up in the morning with broken bones, and being in amazing amounts of pain. Wendy had seen it happen to Sting and Rogue plenty of times to know that it takes more than a single healing to cure. Mercy to show your love? Kelia asked as Wendy face-palmed. She had just brought more pain on herself. I show my love through pain, Naruto said as he dragged the 2 of them away for secret training. When I am done with the 2 of you the bruises on your bruises will have bruises, Naruto said with a grin. His skin had healed just enough for this anyway, and he did not need full power to take them on. The 2 girls were going to be feeling the burn. Chapter end. What if Naruto Ace of Fairy Tail Council bashing? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.